were non-citizens. And we recently had that verified by federal authorities.
Governor Youngkin telling Fox as the Faulkner focus, the state will immediately appeal to the Fourth Circuit Federal Appeals Court and, if necessary, to the U.S. Supreme Court. Former President Trump is to take the stage shortly at a campaign event in Austin, Texas. Then he'll drop in on a popular podcaster.
He's going to sit down with Joe Rogan for a podcast interview on Spotify, which should reach millions of voters, especially with young men, where Trump has been having a lead. Vice President Harris turned down the opportunity to speak with Rogan. However, the campaign says it's still trying to get its message out.
Fox's Mark Merritt at the Vice President Harris will campaign in Texas tonight.
Her speech in Houston will focus on the state's 6-week abortion ban. The expected appearances of Beyonce and Willie Nelson today is the latest effort by Harris to harness star power to get her through the finish line.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Nearly 33 million people have cast their ballots already through early voting. The Washington Post has just announced it will not endorse any candidate in the presidential election for the first time in 36 years. 75 people in 13 states who say they ate at McDonald's have now been diagnosed with E. coli. While the Centers for Disease Control yet to confirm the source, McDonald's says a California grower has issued a voluntary recall of its onions for possible contamination. Wall Street mixed. The Dow is down about 63 points, but NASDAQ is up 230 after reaching a new high earlier. America is listening to Fox News.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The northwest flow taking over really locks in tonight. We're looking for a high of about 75 with a slow drop in temperature. Partly to mostly sunny skies for the rest of the afternoon. Tonight, clear skies and chilly, going down to 48. Saturday, sunny, 65 degrees, beautiful. Saturday night, clear and a nippy 43. And Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Having trouble finding that luxury timepiece you've been dreaming about? You might be surprised to find it at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct now invites you to our exclusive luxury watch collection, now stocked with some hard-to-find brand new and certified pre-owned Swiss timepieces. At Diamonds Direct, our buyers have been scouring the country finding the watches you can't get anywhere else, including a fabulous collection of new and pre-owned models in immaculate condition from Rolex, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, Richard Mille, and more. We've got Rolex Submariners, Datejust, Pepsis, Batmans, and other hard sought-after models. So if you're tired of waiting for years to get that luxury watch you've been wanting, stop waiting. Walk out with it today at Diamonds Direct. And if you have a fine Swiss watch you want to sell, our buyers are always willing to pay top dollar. Maybe it's time for a trade-in or trade-up. Come and see the all-new luxury watch collection at Diamonds Direct. Get showroom directions, hours, and learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
St. Louis City 2 is in the MLS Next Pro postseason. Join us Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park as City 2 battles it out in the Western Conference semifinals. Tickets only $13 with player meet and greets, free games, face painting, and more. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com. Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park. Don't miss out on the action and be there as we cheer our team to the finals. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com. Looking for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair. And hello to thick, healthy hair with hair volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture. love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
His cozying up to dictators, his obsession with Hitler that has now come out, what he has said about our veterans, and what he wants to do with the military against his political adversaries. It's all huge news. This is the future that we're looking at in the next Trump term, if there is one. But this is what voters know right now, that he is killing us. I'm talking about us women. He's killing us. He is putting us at risk. He is making us afraid to have babies. He is putting our reproductive health at risk, and some women have died already because of this. So we can see right now what's coming. These headlines, and very good reporting, by the way, that shouldn't be questioned by idiots about what Trump has said about Hitler. That's incredibly important to know. But I do understand that people who are busy and that are people who are just tapping in may not be able to comprehend, because we've been free. We've been comfortable. We cannot comprehend that. And I understand that. I validate that it is hard to go from here to there. It is where we're going. I hope we don't find out the hard way.
Is that My Heart Will Go On?
Happy Friday, St. Louis.
Wow.
Mika's not okay, but that made me okay with Mika.
All right, so
see what we did there?
So Trump, did she say Trump is literally killing us?
Mika, Trump is not why you're not having babies. That's all I got to say. That's not why you're not having babies. Stop projecting. It's embarrassing.
I'm making a little bit of a leap here. I get the sense that maybe Kamala's not doing that great.
It makes me feel that way. Which also, happy Friday, St. Louis.
Happy Friday.
Hey, 57 years Mika Brzezinski is, and she's married to Joe Scarborough. Why are you not having babies?
Trump.
Duh. He's the source of all of the problems, is he not?
Yep. I think, not that Trump is like the most pro-life guy in the world, but I think you could make a pro-life case that even pro-lifers actually do want you to have babies. They're not preventing people from having babies. They're encouraging people to have babies. I think that's the whole pro-life movement.
I am frustrated with these stories that are not being reported with truth and honesty about. There are women who have died because they haven't been able to recover from abortion services they've given themselves. I've gone to speak at Vitae Foundation event after Vitae Foundation event after Vitae Foundation event as an MC. I've done, I basically opened for the Coalition Life, St. Louis March for Life, and I marched to the arch with hundreds of people this past winter, I guess it was. March. And the understanding of what the abortion pill does, you can get a pill in the mail from wherever they get sent out from, because there's a lot of different places that will do it. Is it mifepristone? Is that the right name of it? That's off the top of my head. It comes to you, you take it, it forces an abortion of a fetus. You think that you're 8 weeks pregnant. Now, I've had 4 babies, and I've also had 1 miscarriage. I know what it was like to go through a miscarriage that started at home. There was bleeding. There was pain. It was uncomfortable. When you take that pill, it causes you to have an abortion. Listen, you have a baby growing inside of you. That has to come out. If your pregnancy that you thought was 10 weeks along is really 14 weeks along, that baby is bigger. They grow very quickly at that age. If everything isn't flushed out appropriately, there are women who bleed out in their bathrooms because they don't realize what's going on. It's a completely unsafe environment. Like, the advocation of this type of an abortion service accessibility for people is not healthy for women. And when they take these abortion pills that they legally have access to, or in many cases can also, kind of illegally have access to, if they can get the pill, they can take the pill. They're putting themselves in a position to have this procedure done that is not being supervised by a doctor. And it is damaging to women, and women have died from it. Now, people are saying, Annie, seems like you're making the case for legal abortion. Well, here's the deal. If the initial pill isn't taken and the woman isn't going to, what was it, sepsis, the Georgia woman, Amber, I believe is her name. If she wouldn't have taken that pill, she probably would have had a healthy pregnancy, and then she would have had the burden of having a baby. And that's a different problem to solve. I get that. I'm not advocating for the death of any baby, but I'm also not advocating for the death of women. There's the difference. And Mika Brzezinski, when she's talking about this stuff, they just glaze right over the facts of the matter. The truth is that as somebody who is vehemently pro-life, I can explain to you what happened to these women that they are using right now for a political point, which, do they have the right to do that? They do. You can judge them for whatever you want. I would just prefer that they would use the facts while they're using them for a political point. When they're talking about these instances, they're not giving the full picture, and they're not doing that on purpose. They're doing it because they're fighting for something that is the golden goose for their political victories. If abortion isn't a factor in this election, how big does Donald Trump win?
Well, it's massive. I mean, you probably have the red
50
wave
states
in 2022 and even more so now. Yeah.
It's a huge political issue. I, as a woman, I was thinking about this the other day. I am not in a position to want to have another baby. It's not that I wouldn't want to raise another baby, but I don't physically want to go through pregnancy. I have a very tough time being pregnant, and it's just, I just throw up multiple times a day. It's just absolute miserable. And I don't want to go through that again. And if I got pregnant right now, I was just thinking about this just the other day. If I were to get pregnant again, there are a lot of abortions that end up happening because women get pregnant late in life, and they're like, I cannot go back to that. I cannot do this again. I wouldn't choose that for myself. I would have to push through that just like I pushed through the other 4 pregnancies that I successfully had. But I could see how people who didn't have a moral conflict with the idea of abortion would be like, I'm 40. I'm not doing this again. You're crazy. And the ease with which you can just go get it taken care of, you could never tell your husband. You could be in the most picture perfect, upper income, everything's going great situation. You get pregnant, you're 42, you don't want to have that baby. You just take care of it. And when we think about abortion, we always think about what is the conversation about abortion always about?
Single moms.
Rape and incest.
Oh, well, that too, yeah.
I mean, that's the main, if you are against abortion, you're okay with 12-year-olds having to carry their father's baby? No, that's not what we're saying here. To which I always respond, rape, incest, and, the life of the mother is something that I'll talk about here in a second. But rape and incest, I concede all ground on that for the sake of a political issue and discussion. Rape and incest, what if we compromise and I say, completely not in that case, abortion is completely legal? I believe a life is life, and the baby is still not less valuable because of the way it was conceived. But for the sake of the conversation, let's set all of those aside. The truth about the life of the mother thing, you don't ever have to murder a baby to save the mother's life. You may have to deliver a baby early, and that baby may not survive an early delivery, but there's never a reason to piece apart a fetus to pull them out of the womb. There's never a reason to do that instead of to just deliver C-section or whatever the baby so that the baby comes out. You provide it the same care that you would should that mom just have wanted that baby. So in that instance, I don't really believe in abortion, but I do believe in the ability to preserve the life of the mother, which may result in the death of the baby. When I listen to Mika freaking out on MSNBC, I mean, if you haven't seen this video, we ran it on our YouTube channel, but like, she's not okay. She's not okay. These people are not going to be okay if Trump wins. And the more that they are freaking out like this on their networks, the more comfortable I feel like Donald Trump's going to win, and the more nervous I get that I'm not going to be okay because I'm getting too cozy in the thought of how well Donald Trump appears to be doing in the polls.
I see things like that, and I think about yesterday's Annie Fry Show poll about what do you think about violence after the election, and that actually makes me more nervous that there are still people who are going to lose, not just fringe people, because yesterday I said it is mostly fringe people that commit the violence. This is mainstream media. She's having a breakdown in front of tens of thousands of people. That was a little joke there about the ratings. But she's having a breakdown in front of the camera, and she's supposed to be one of the leaders of the party in a sense, that if they're not going to be okay if Donald Trump wins, there's a lot of people that are going to have these breakdowns publicly, privately, all over the place, more than we think.
I don't want that for them.
I don't either.
I really want them to feel like, wait, this isn't going to be as bad as I thought? This isn't going to, I want that for them. But, because I don't really think that Mika wants that for me. I think that if Kamala Harris wins the election, I don't think Mika wants me to know that it's going to be okay. I think she wants me to suffer for the idiocy that I've exposed to people by saying that Donald Trump was a better choice. I think she wants me to suffer.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, though. If Donald Trump does win, I think these people who are going to really lose, their worldview is hinging on this. If they lose the presidency and the power of government ultimately, I think they're going to want it to be as bad as they thought it would be because it's confirmation bias. They can't admit, this isn't actually that bad. They want it to be that bad because then it affirms their emotions about it.
If Trump wins, they'll be miserably better.
Well, okay.
Which is fine with me. They're just incredibly out of touch. Another example in how far out of touch the leftists in the media are. I'm going to give you Don Lemon. He's talking to a veteran here. And listen to the way he talks to this guy who's trying to make a simple point.
So people called you Jason. What did you say?
I'd be like, that's what's up.
You would say that's not my name. That's the only reason I said it. And I would respect you enough.
If my name was Jimmy.
Hold on, Jimmy, Jason. Yeah. I respect you enough to call you by the right name.
Understood. I understood. Well, if my name was Jimmy and you called me Jason, and Jimmy was running for president and didn't receive a single vote in the primary, I would take more issue with that versus you calling me Jason.
I'm taking issues with both of them because I would take issues with both of them if I believed what you said. I don't believe that what you're saying is accurate, but I think still.
Is it not accurate that no one voted for her? She wasn't primary? Is that not accurate?
Hang on 1 second. One does not negate the other. You can respect someone and call them by the right name and also believe at the same time that it wasn't a democratic process. So
correct.
We can get
so which is the bigger
ticket
there. Item, people mispronouncing a syllable or the democratic process being neglected?
I would say both. I think you have to respect.
So here you got Don Lemon.
That's
Don
amazing.
Lemon,
Wow.
the side that is like, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. What is democracy? You've got this veteran here who's saying, okay, I don't know if he initially said Kamala or something like that. All Don Lemon cares. Don Lemon gets a point on his personal scoreboard that he carries around with him when he gets Mr. Kamala to say Kamala. All this guy wants to know is, so what's a bigger issue here? The Democratic Party, Kamala, the Democratic Party picking their nominee by selecting them and coronating them when that individual has never received a single vote in our electoral process. Not a single vote. What is a bigger deal, that or whether or not I say Kamala or Kamala? And he says, I think they're equal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me not go to you for the description now of what is a threat to democracy, because you have negated your ability to have any sense of brain cells on this issue.
Now, I don't know if you're planning on playing the rest of that clip there, if there's more to it. It looked like there was a little bit more. But the body language, you can't hear this if you're listening. That's why I encourage you to tune in and see it on the YouTube stream right now, on the Annie Fry Show stream. Because the body language of the guy who's responding to Don Lemon is not aggressive. He is like, I don't even know if I want to be talking to this microphone, but I'm going to make a point.
I don't know anything about this guy, but he looks like a stoner.
He does,
He
yeah.
kind of looks like he's still taking a stroll on the street.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Like
he had a gummy a bit.
surprised that he was there going, you know what? I got a couple of points I'm going to make. You're like, hey, that guy surprised me a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just, Don Lemon is not okay either. And all that matters is what happens on November 5th. I cannot allow myself to get comfortable in what it looks like the truth is right now. My big concern, and I haven't had anyone explain this to me in a way that makes me feel appeased at it, but like if you have taking everything and summing it up at a very simple point, like let's say you have 100 voters and usually 90 of those voters vote on election day and 10 of them vote early. If you have 90 of them vote early and 10 of them vote on election day, you still have 100 voters. I need to know that the numbers that we're seeing in early vote right now materialize in a greater total number. And I don't know why we know that yet, and I need to see it. We're going to take a quick break. Joe Machi's going to be in studio with us, comedian, regular on Gutfeld, and he's performing at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles tonight. You need to go get your tickets. Have you done that yet? stlouisfunnybone.com. He's performing tonight at 7:30 and 9:30 p.m., and there are 2 Saturday shows as well, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Tickets available at stlouisfunnybone.com. Joe Machi on The Annie Fry Show next.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow. Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather. That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Election Night.
Join St. Louis's home for conservative talk for comprehensive, up-to-the-minute coverage of the most critical election of our time.
Your trusted voices on Election Night, Tuesday, November 5th. Catch all the action live on air and online. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Well, anytime we're going to have a comedian on the show, we want to make sure it's nice and mellow before we bring in Joe Machi here.
Low energy.
Yeah, this is low energy Joe.
Hi.
Oh, wait, we've got the wrong guest in here. Joe Machi, welcome to the studio. Comedian, regular on Gutfeld. Check out Joe Machi on Instagram. Thanks for being in here today. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Let's just keep the whole appearance very mellow.
Keep it chill?
Keep it really chill.
Okay.
You want?
Well, no, I want you to lead.
You went into your chill voice. Okay.
I did because
Who's up here?
I'm trying to follow Joe's lead, and then you're a little hot right now. Like you're
Thank
coming
you.
in a little too loud.
Joe, we were just playing. I don't know if you got to hear these clips from Mika Brzezinski, Don Lemon as well, but watching the information through polling and early voting, now that we actually have legitimate numbers, it feels as though one side of the political campaign that shows itself through the media doesn't seem to be doing okay.
No, and I'm going to defend Mika real quick here, because if I were married to Joe Scarborough, it would always sound like I was holding back tears when I talked. It wouldn't matter about what.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see the new Star Wars? Yeah.
Well, that's the way most people respond to the new Star Wars.
Oh, good
from what
Lord.
I understand.
I knew as soon as I came up with that reference, I was like, that was a bad reference, because, I mean, usually they're tears of rage, though. I'm like, you ruined Star Wars.
Do you are you a Star Wars person?
I used to be. I used to read the books.
Yeah?
I liked the original trilogy. I liked the prequels somewhat. They needed an editor, but no one's perfect. And when Disney bought it, man, they did great with Rogue One. Rogue One was awesome, but they've ruined that franchise.
Do you feel like, okay, in the world that I specifically hope to live in, where Donald Trump wins, I feel like that will be indicative of Americans who have had enough of sitting around and keeping their mouths shut, trying to be nice, trying to be kind by not pushing back on things that kind of emulate themselves in these really weird versions of Star Wars, which, like, they completely don't respect their audience. They're trying to force something into the face of their audience. Like, I feel like the cultural repercussions of Donald Trump's gives 0 Fs about all of this stuff, like, that could potentially broaden out into culture quite a bit should he get reelected.
A lot of people think The Mandalorian had a great deal to do with Trump's surge in the polls of late. And the Acolyte. Oh, I should have said the Acolyte.
The Acolyte.
Yeah.
No, the lesbian witch circle where it's
the
like...
Mandalorian's pretty good.
You have lesbian witches. That's a plus, but not for a Star Wars movie.
It's all about time and place. Anything to say, Ad Brett? You're like the Star Wars guy.
He is a man after my own heart when it comes to this stuff. He's spot on. Everything is right. The original trilogy, great. The books, great. The prequels, okay.
I was mad.
Rogue One, good.
I was mad when the Force became something that was in your blood, the midichlorians.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we didn't have that before. It was just something
You just
kind of mystical in the universe,
Yeah.
almost like a religion. And then they changed it to this thing that's in your DNA. And I'm like, what?
See,
and
I
then
don't
it
know
got
Star-
even, then they're like, no, it's not in your DNA. It's lesbian witches. And I'm like, I can't keep up.
I don't know enough about Star Wars to know if what he's saying is legit or jokes.
Well, don't Google it at work because Safe Search is on,
Safe Search.
and nothing will come up.
Lesbian witches?
Yeah, nothing will
It's
happen.
Halloween. It's mainstream.
Neither do I. I just read that somewhere.
Right.
I'm not a big Star Wars nerd.
What comes first, politics or culture? And does culture influence politics, or does politics influence culture? How do you think? How do you feel about that?
I think politics is influenced by culture. Sure, that was an Andrew Breitbart kind of mantra. But, I have a feeling that culture used to be bottom up, and now it's top down. And that's where a lot of the frustration comes from. It's like what you said about Star Wars. It's someone decided we're going to take this amazing franchise and ruin it. The fans weren't asking for lesbian witches.
No.
I mean, some of them were if they got my letters, but not most of them.
Did they execute that the way you saw it materializing in the show?
Well, they had that weird chant. They're like, "We are one, we are many." I'm like, these aren't the lesbians I was talking about.
These aren't the lesbians you're looking for.
I wanted them to be in a bowling alley or a softball game.
That's the ones you were looking for? Actually, I'm going to have to Google that.
That's a shirt.
I don't know.
Man,
I don't know.
You need that witch circle and say these aren't the lesbians you're looking for.
I don't know where they're finding their lesbians is all I'm trying to say.
Let me ask you this. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, the ability to lead culture, the ability to move people, not because they've said the thing like, oh, that guy's Hitler, and then everyone's like, oh, okay, hadn't considered that. I'll vote for you now. Donald Trump's ability to influence culture versus Kamala Harris' consistent attempts to lead culture. What do you think about these two?
You know, one person's funny and one isn't. And you can't teach that. Trump has natural comedic timing. Like even during the Al Smith dinner where he said something about men and a woman cheered. And he's like, that doesn't sound like it. He was in the room, and that's just instinctive. And it's just something you just can't fake.
Mm-hmm.
So Kamala's just too scripted. It's a little boring. They tried to manufacture into this joy thing, but joy's like laughter. It's an emotion. It's a guttural thing. You can't fake that. So
it's why it's great.
Yeah, it just falls flat. So
we got Joe Machi in studio with us here. He is a comedian that you can go see at the streets of St. Charles Funny Bone, stlewisfunnybone.com. Get your tickets for tonight, 7:30, 9:30, tomorrow, 7 and 9 o'clock. Write that down, Joe.
Thank you. And thank you for bailing me out of that culture question.
Yeah.
Though I was going nowhere with, like a Kamala town hall answer.
I was going to follow up on that with
I was
you,
about to say that there was the duality of democracy. That's how I was going to end it.
We already know how that ends.
I was going to dismount that way, but
Joe, do you? We had this conversation earlier, maybe a week or two ago, that it's kind of interesting that I don't really have a distinct visual in my mind of what it looks like for Donald Trump to be full of laughter, like to have the belly laugh where his head goes back or whatever. You don't see him laughing that way, but yet he's really funny. And then the converse of that is you see Kamala Harris laughing all of the time and nothing is funny.
Yeah, for her, laughter is a defense mechanism. It's how she gets out of answering a question. It's like if I got pulled over for drag racing again and the cop's like, do you know why I pulled you over? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Makes you look totally innocent. Did you get out of that ticket?
Yeah, so you want to do another promo? I got nothing else after that.
We gave you a long space after that.
I'll be at the Funny Bone, St. Charles.
Tonight, 7:30, 9:30.
7:30, and there's also shows tomorrow. I don't know when.
7 and 9.
Right. That's it.
JoeMachi.com. Go check out his website as well. You work on Gutfeld. How often do you have like a regular schedule that you hit, or how's that work?
Yeah, I'm one of the main writers. I call myself the head writer, even though the producer says that's not true. But I just wanted to give myself the credit I deserve for making
not
that.
Here.
No, but yeah, we got. I write every day, even when I'm on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I was clicking away all this morning. I'm not writing now, but we got the show pretty much set. But yeah, as often as I can, I'm trying to make Greg look funny. So it's pretty much a full-time gig.
So Joe, when you are watching the day and you're trying to, do you just have a joke come to your head and then you just put it down and put it away? Do you have to sit down and focus on that?
I have to sit down and focus on it. It's gotten a lot harder because there's so many shows doing political stuff. Anyone on X can chime in. I want to have an original take. So so I always try to do that. Like my take on the McDonald's thing is it's a brilliant thing that Trump did because he's the first politician I've seen call out a rival's lie by doing the thing that she lied about having done. And I just wish that trick was around when Bill Clinton was president.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much.
Trick.
See, I let you figure that joke out in your head.
Yeah, we needed a minute. Is it funnier? As a comedian, you said, Kamala Harris isn't funny because we don't laugh with her, even though she's laughing all the time.
Well,
There's a lot of laughing at her.
She's not even saying something that's a joke. It's like, hey, did you like it when Kamala said that she's made mistakes? Anyone that's parented a child knows that. I'm like, well, that's not even the start of a joke yet. The start of a parenting child joke would be like, oh, I left my kid in the car the other day. It was hot out, and that didn't go very well. At least you have to have you have to raise the tension somehow, not just state something that happens.
Do you think that she's self-aware? Because in my mind, it's not like she can get out of this at this point. And
I think she's more like Skynet pre-93.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks ago, things started going south, and she hasn't really recovered. Pretty much after, I would say, the convention, she can't abort herself out of this situation right now. Do you think that she knows that she's not good at this?
Well, one, I'm going to push back a little bit. I don't think that she was ever leading or doing as well as people said she was doing. I think there was this whole media narrative that kicked off to try to rebrand her, and there was a response bias in these polls, or the polls are just conducted badly, that people answer polls when they're excited. So their views really most people's views don't change. There's these slow, long political realignments that happen. Mm-hmm. But you see these, if Kamala was up in a poll by 4 a month ago, and now she's down by 2, there really wasn't a 6-point swing in the electorate. Yeah. But to your second point, no, she's not a real person, and she's not trying to be a real person. She's trying to be an inauthentic person that she thinks will win votes by not telling you what she actually thinks. So it's a smart strategy if all your positions are terrible and people aren't going to like them if they know what they are.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do. That middle class thing, brilliant. Filibuster as much as you can.
Talk about your lawn.
Yeah. Yeah, I came from a middle class area because people like lawns.
People in Arizona probably don't like that.
Yeah, but also, what a weird flex for middle class people.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, things are going pretty good. Have you seen my lawn?
And that's it. That's the depth.
Look, I got an 05 Hyundai Elantra in the driveway. All right?
Look at the grass.
Look, I'm not sweating it. I've got a 42-inch flat screen and Netflix without the commercials. I pay the extra $2.
You kind of describing utopia. I don't know. You realize you're in the Midwest right now, right?
Let me ask you about this. Where, are you from somewhere specifically? From all around? Are you a New Yorker through and through? You got a Pittsburgh hat on with the little P, I noticed.
Am I from somewhere? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, that's what we need to know.
Are you from anywhere?
Yes, I'm from here. I've never gone.
I often get the statement, "You're not from around here," from strangers. But yeah, I'm from State College, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It's the Paris of
Pennsylvania. Have you met Scott Pressler?
I have not. I'm not in State College a whole lot, but I know what he's doing. He's trying to get the vote out there, which is a smart strategy. Finally, the Republican Party's trying to do something bottom up instead of top down, because that's where power comes from. Democrats understand that much better. But yeah, I grew up, born, raised, State College, graduated from Penn State, but I've been in the New York City area a lot of the time since then. I recently bought a place in the Poconos, so I spent a lot of time there.
Good for you.
Yeah.
When Tim Walz comes out, and he was marketed to everybody as a palatable male Midwesterner. I just want to tell you, as somebody who is from here, and I'm not male, but I am Midwestern. These two obviously are male Midwesterners. I just wonder what it was like from the outside looking in. If you had never seen a Midwesterner in real life, I hope he didn't sell the country a bill of goods on what Midwestern really is, because Tim Walz is a different kind of dude.
Yeah. He said, normally something doesn't fit when he's loading a gun. I'm like, no, it always fits. It always fits. It's just if the Democrats wanted a masculine candidate, they should have asked someone more like me, someone with, some guns attached to his shoulders,
Yeah. Tune into the YouTube live. It's a gun show.
Hey, he keeps flexing.
Yeah.
I'm as comfortable at a rodeo as I am at a museum.
You sound like it.
Yeah. I can't name a museum, but I'm comfortable there.
Yeah. Clearly. This is him just in his element.
Oh, I know.
I'm not making this up right now.
Maybe we should do another promo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got nothing.
We'll all be quiet so you can cut it.
STLewisFunnyBone.com, the streets of St. Charles. Get your tickets tonight, and you can see this live and in person, 7:30 to 9:30 and 9:30. 2 shows tonight, and then tomorrow, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. STLewisFunnyBone.com. I want to ask you about your Pirates hat. You a big Pirates fan?
I'm a moderate Pirates fan. It's hard to be a big Pirates fan.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. They have been futile for since 2014, after being futile for 22 years before that. We finally made the playoffs a couple of years in a row, and now we're rebuilding again.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes us longer to rebuild than it takes California to build a train. So I have to wait. I have to wait a long time before we're good again. But we got some good young talent. We got Paul Skeens. That guy can throw some smoke.
Yes, he can.
So watch out. Watch out, Cardinals.
Well, we're rebuilding right now, too.
Watch out, Reds.
A lot of Reds.
Brewers.
Can you name the rest of them?
Brewers.
One
Cubs.
more. There you go.
Yeah.
Are you a lifelong Pirates fan?
Yeah, ever since I was born. Because you don't become a Pirates fan later in life. It's like
not
smoking.
a choice.
It's like smoking cigarettes. The information is already out there.
It's a nature versus nurture thing. All nature.
Yeah.
Phillies, what do you think about them?
Oh, the Phillies. I don't have an opinion on the Phillies. I'm winking. You can't see if you're listening.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't want their fans to threaten to kill me again.
Okay. We've heard about the city of brotherly love.
Yeah. Don't mention Bryce Harper's contract in a negative light.
A hazard to your health?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's take a quick break here. Joe Machi's in studio with us here on the Annie Fry Show. His shows are tonight, 7:30 and 9:30. There are a few tickets remaining, so get on the website right now. 7:30 show or a 9:30 show. Is there a better show? Is one better than the other?
I would say they're all equally good.
All right, great endorsement for your shows. STLewisFunnyBone.com. Get those tickets for tonight, Saturday as well. 2 shows, 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. We do the Be or Not the Be on Fridays, Joe. We're going to figure out if stories are satire or not. You want to stick around for that?
Oh, of course.
All right. Ryan Wiggins is in charge of that. So let's take a quick break. This mellow music. This is the most mellow song we've ever played on the show. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 5-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years. Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25-RHINO.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Republican Adam Schnelting is a husband, father, and a soldier. As an Army combat engineer, Schnelting is trained to fight for us. He's trained to solve problems. As state representative, Adam fought to keep men out of our daughters' bathrooms and sports. He voted to cut our taxes and fully fund our schools. He led the charge in Missouri to secure our border and address the fentanyl crisis. He even earned the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Adam Schnelting for State Senate.
I'm Adam Schnelting, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Schnelting for Missouri, Mike Summer, Treasurer.
We haven't really mentioned this poll much today. Which Trump second term, theoretically, would be more effective? Would it have been 2020 or will it be 2024? Which one would be more effective? It's the YouTube live chat poll. You find it by going to YouTube, typing in Annie Fry, and it will come up. You can vote there. 1246. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You can help those affected by this disastrous hurricane season by visiting redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Message and data rates apply. Together we can help those who've been affected. Thanks for helping. Conservatives Care on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
The bee or not the bee?
All right, as we usually do on Fridays at this time, these are stories that are either fake or real. Some of them are from the Babylon Bee. Some of them are real. I'll read the headline. You're going to tell me which is which with our special guest, Joe Machi, still here. Thank you.
If you're interested in getting tickets to see Joe Machi this weekend at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles, go to stlewisfunnybone.com and get your tickets before they're gone for tonight's shows, two of them, 7:30 and 9:30. And Saturday, there's two shows as well, 7 and 9. I tell you, as somebody with 4 kids who doesn't always get to get out and do things like this, when I go to the streets of St. Charles, when I go to the Funny Bone, I wouldn't consider myself to be this type of person. But when I did go out, I laughed. It was almost medicinal for me to go just have an evening of laughing until you cry. You will do that tonight. So if it feels uncomfortable for you to go to a comedy show, if it's something you've never done before, this is the one you want to go to. stlewisfunnybone.com.
All right, here's the first one. Tell me whether it's real or the Babylon Bee. Frustrated Democrats to consider letting voters pick the presidential candidate next time.
Joe, you thought B? Or
I think B.
That sounds like the B to me. What do you...
Yes, indeed, this is the Babylon Bee. According to anonymous sources, Democrats are so irritated about how poorly Kamala is performing that they might even decide to run a candidate who received more than 0 primary ballots in the next election cycle.
Bare minimum.
Quote, "How did we even get here?" cried a distraught Chuck Schumer. Fine. I guess we can let a little bit of voter input on who we run next time. Just don't get used to it, voters. All right, that's the Babylon Bee. Next one. Democrats explained Trump was going to be Hitler during his first term, but he forgot.
I mean, I can't imagine that actually being a real headline.
USA Today. No.
Did you see that the Washington Post today, right before the show started, they announced that they're not going to endorse Canada this year?
I did see that. It was surprising.
What do you think about that?
I think maybe Jeff Bezos wants to stay on Trump's good side.
Okay, I like the way you think.
Yeah,
I like the way you think. And I didn't they in their message to whatever press release say that they aren't going to endorse in the future either?
Or maybe he laid off the people that did the endorsing.
Maybe.
Nobody else there knows
how.
Like, where the heck is that endorsement?
Where's the endorsed guy?
Oh, we fired them. Oh, sorry. Well, we won't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
All right, rest of the story.
Is it the B?
It is the B. According to retired General John Kelly, former President Trump often talked about how he kept meaning to find time to be Hitler. But he kept getting distracted by other things. Quote, on several occasions, Trump told me word for word, this is it. This is the week I'm going to be Hitler. But then Trump would get started doing something like handing out candy to minions, and he would completely forget, explained Kelly.
Isn't it funny? Like, we've talked about this before, but when Donald Trump was at the White House and people were trick-or-treating, and he put the candy on top of the minion's head. This little kid's walking around like a minion, and he's just like, boop.
But it falls off his head.
Yeah.
And then he just walks away. The kid just walks away.
That's a good story.
If you're that age, though, the most important thing is not that you became famous because Donald Trump put candy on your head. It's that you lost that candy.
Yeah, probably.
So
Joe,
that's
are
very
you a
unfortunate.
costume guy? Do you like costume parties?
No, I don't.
Like the worst thing? And
no, I you just grow out of that stuff. You know, that's the thing. Adults don't grow up anymore. It's a big problem. But to me, it's much more interesting when the Easter Bunny moved Biden away from the reporters.
There's a lot of power in that.
Yeah, because to kids, the hierarchy made sense. Like, of course, if
you're saying it's indoctrination.
If there's a magical bunny that gives away candy, of course he's more powerful than the president.
That's so true.
I don't remember. Was Jill Biden visibly present at that event?
Are you suggesting she
I
was
don't know
the
what
bunny?
I'm suggesting.
I think I don't know. I don't remember.
I want to think she's the bunny.
I want to think it was Hunter. And that nobody knew he was coming.
That's how he got in.
Speaking
if it was Hunter, he's not wearing pants in that costume.
He understood half the assignment.
I can tell from those bare legs that is Hunter Biden in that costume. All right, based on what you just said about Washington Post, here's the next headline. Far left Los Angeles Times refuses to endorse presidential candidate.
That's true.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, that is real. LA Times, Los Angeles freaking Times, as the Not the Bee puts it, isn't going to endorse any candidate this time around, even when the former senator and AG from California is on the top of the ticket. 2008, it was Obama, Clinton, Biden. This year, no endorsement.
Is there any irony, Joe, for you, for newspapers to come out, like, papers of record or whatever, and be like, we choose this candidate?
I don't know who endorsements work on at all, Like, sure, there's probably a number of women that would vote for who I told them to vote for just to curry my favor, but it won't work, ladies.
What's that number of women?
8.
That's pretty good.
Do you feel like is there an undecided voter in this country?
Yeah, there are some, but honestly, most of them will vote based on the price of gas. So, like if I were president, whoever's running the country right now, I would release more money from release more barrels from the strategic reserve.
That's actually very true.
That's true.
Yeah. Next
Speaking
one?
of not to be, here we go. Trump forced to cancel campaign rallies for next 2 weeks as time off request denied by McDonald's manager.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. I just assume it's the B. Anybody disagree?
That's just real.
No.
Here we go. It's the B. Former President Trump has been forced to cancel all of his rallies for the next 2 weeks after his request to take time off was denied by Brad Norris, his manager at McDonald's. Quote from Trump, I told Brad it was very important and really needed the time off. He just said that serving delicious golden fries in a timely fashion was also important and told me to get my priorities in order. I have to tell, I was mad, but I really respect that Brad guy. Tough guy. Very smart.
I love that you added "it's the B" right before you started reading it.
Yeah,
just
it
out
is.
of clarification.
Joe, McDonald's move, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, but was that brilliant by Donald Trump to do that?
Yeah, anytime to me, that picture where he's waving in the apron from the drive-thru, that's just good fun. That's Norman Rockwell right there. I think people were saying, the customers were, they were pre-screened. Well, I wish they did that every time I went to McDonald's. Like, I don't want to go to that McDonald's. They haven't screened the customers yet.
Yeah.
One time a guy asked me to give him a ride when I was eating my McDonald's, and I'm like, I don't want to give you a ride. And he was dumbfounded that a person eating McDonald's wouldn't just.
Why did it bother the people? The allegation that it was staged. If Barack Obama, who is also a former president of the United States, went to a McDonald's, and we talked about this in the show, he could pull that off. He could have gone to a McDonald's and waited on people. He could pull it off in a way Kamala couldn't because Barack Obama is a genuine dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, they would pre-screen everything for him, too, because he's the former president of the United States.
Yeah, he could think off his feet. You know, you might not agree with his politics, but no one said, like, he didn't have the ability to think. Hillary Clinton.
Standards have changed.
Yeah, you know, she can shoot lightning out of her hands.
Do you, Hillary Clinton coming in here in the bottom of the ninth and saying, oh, yeah, Donald Trump is Hitler, and the Madison Square Garden thing is Hitler-esque.
Well, first of all, that was a different Madison Square Garden. We're on the fourth Madison Square Garden. That was the third Madison Square Garden. That was it. That was in a different location. So if you really wanted to redo it, you would have to have that one built again.
So clearly.
Yeah.
What more evidence do you need, Hillary?
It doesn't add up. Do your research, Hillary.
She checks notes. Oh, crap.
Well, she's probably listening, so.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
That's the last we'll hear from her. It's embarrassing for her. Last one before we run out of time here, maybe. Tulsi Gabbard finally realizes she's far too attractive to be a Democrat.
Oh, that is funny. That's got to be a B.
B?
I mean, yeah, it's the B.
Okay, fair enough.
Gabbard is currently ranked as the 43rd best-looking member of the GOP, though. 21 spots below Thomas Massey. And
Thomas
far
Massey.
from attractive enough to displace someone at the top of the food chain like Ted Cruz. However, sources at Fox News say that she's more attractive than enough to get a spot at their outlet whenever she retires from politics.
Are you a Tulsi fan, Joe?
Oh, I think Tulsi's great. Attractiveness, boy, it's a tough list. Lauren Boebert's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Katie Britt, she's easy on the eye.
Yeah.
Rand Paul, how about that hair?
She took a dark turn there at the end. I'm not here to judge. Well, Joe Machi, thank you for joining us in studio. We love having you in here, and I hope that our listeners heed my advice here and go to, if it's your first comedy show you've ever been to, go tonight, go tomorrow night, and enjoy laughing. We need to laugh right now more than ever, and Joe Machi will have you doing that for sure. At the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles, 7:30 and 9:30 tonight shows, and tomorrow night, 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Tickets are available at stlewisfunnybone.com. Joe, thanks for being here. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, come back again soon.
Thank you.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back in the next segment, we'll find out what we missed in the week. And also, your Ask Us Anything questions on the YouTube live chat poll. Let's go. We'll be right back in just a minute.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. As a business owner, it's your job to anticipate constant market changes. But what do you do in the event of a divorce? Years of hard work building a business are on the line. This is not business as usual. You need an experienced partner you can count on for help. We're Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of our Missouri or Illinois attorneys. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Town and Country, Missouri, 63017. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession. It's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. To help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
Wow, this year has flown by, and now you're planning to sell your home. You know, like you, most families have been waiting on the sidelines. Well, now the timing is better, but you still have questions, right? Hey, Mark Cox here from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria Liu for years now. Why? Because Gloria Liu is St. Louis real estate expert, and if you have a home to sell, you need to get to know her like I have. I've seen her systems, her guarantees. I've even met her clients. In fact, I'm also a client. She's different than any other realtor, and if you need help selling your home for the most money, you need to do what I did. Call Gloria Liu. Here's another tip. If you have a home to sell in Crestwood, Shaw, Maplewood, the Central West End, you must give Gloria Liu a call. Take it from me and call my friend Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The campaigns hit the Lone Star State. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Former President Trump with the midday rally starting soon in Austin.
The focus here is going to be all about border security and legal immigration. As we know, the Lone Star State was hit hard by what was happening with the immigration crisis, but it wasn't just Texas. It's been every major city across the country, and that's why when you talk to people on the campaign trail on a daily basis like we do, they say immigration is one of their top campaign issues.
Fox's Alexis McAdams, Vice President Harris expected to stress reproductive rights at an event in Houston tonight at which Beyonce is scheduled to appear. A federal judge in Virginia has ordered the Commonwealth to put back on the voter rolls over 1,600 people who'd been removed, some self-identifying as non-citizens. Virginia's Governor Glenn Youngkin telling Fox News.
Common sense says non-citizens aren't on the voter rolls, but the Constitution and the law say it as well. And that's why we are immediately petitioning the Fourth Circuit for an emergency stay here on this injunction, and we will immediately go to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary.
The judge said the removals came too close to Election Day within the so-called 90-day quiet period, but the governor says the state law has been in effect for 18 years under Democrat and Republican administrations. The fast food E. coli scare is expanding.
The CDC says at least 75 people across 13 states have been sickened by the E. coli outbreak, linked to McDonald's quarter-pounder hamburgers this month, with at least 22 people hospitalized, one fatality in Colorado linked to the outbreak. McDonald's and the Food and Drug Administration have pointed to raw onions served on quarter pounders as the source of the outbreak.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Wall Street, the Dow appears headed for its fifth straight losing session, trading 258 points lower. NASDAQ is up about 124 points after setting a new intraday high earlier. America is listening to Fox News.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The northwest flow taking over really locks in tonight. We're looking for a high of about 75 with a slow drop in temperature. Partly to mostly sunny skies for the rest of the afternoon. Tonight, clear skies and chilly, going down to 48. Saturday, sunny, 65 degrees, beautiful. Saturday night, clear and a nippy 43. And Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyinc.com/careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloored.com.
Grill Master Tony's cooking up a spooky special for your October. Mark Cox here. How about brisket chili with beans for 10 people, 10 pounds of pre-smoked jumbo wings, 4 pounds of pulled pork, the slider buns, the St. Louis-style sauce, just $225 for 10 people. He's also going to have some specials coming up for Thanksgiving celebrations, and those will be online soon. You can order right now from Grill Master Tony. Just go to grillmastertony.com. Mark Cox here. I have put together my 2024 general election voters guide with you in mind. The direction of our nation and our state is in your hands now. Visit 971talk.com to see the Mark Cox 2024 voter guide.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us on a beautiful Friday afternoon. We just got done speaking with Joe Machi here in studio. You see him on Gutfeld. He is around the whole comedian circuit. Very, very, very funny guy. Get your tickets to his show. He has 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow night. If you go to stlewisfunnybone.com, you can get those tickets before those tickets are sold out. We are 11 days from Election Day.
Okay, 11 days. Let's go.
The Kamala Harris campaign has been, in my opinion, 100% completely reduced to making people try to believe that Donald Trump is Hitler-esque.
Yeah, it really looks desperate. It looks like, and I think I heard Will Cain at he's on 8 o'clock every weeknight here on 97.1, saying something to this effect last night, that it's like they've already thrown the kitchen sink, and now they're dismantling the house looking for drywall and pipes to throw because it's all coming down.
I said this yesterday, but the current state of the Harris-Walz campaign is like in a pirate movie where they're at the end of the battle and everything has been fired and they've got nothing left, and someone turns around and they're like, everything you can, put it in the cannons and fire. And you're firing like, trash and forks and spoons and glass and everything and just loading it in there and hoping for the best. I don't feel like this attempt is going to land in the way that you expect it to land. But at the same time, I don't trust these people. I still don't feel like I can trust fully. I don't have the full confidence in the ability for the election to go smoothly and safely and fairly. That is something that I am still a bit concerned about. And we've heard this phrase over and over and over again, but too big to rig. That's what it needs to be. Will there be cheating? Will there be fraud? Will there be mistakes? Because mistakes happen in every election. Just because something isn't counted the way it's supposed to doesn't mean it's always intentional. But, it's like, to me, I think about the budget the federal government budget, they have a budget line for fraud. Like how much money is going to, like, okay, this is, and it is an astronomical amount of money for stuff that's not going to get spent or go where it's supposed to go, and so on and so forth. Like, if Donald Trump is winning as big as it feels inside that he's winning, it has to leapfrog exponentially the amount that can be attempted to cheat and steal. And I pray that that's the case. But I wouldn't say I'm worried, but I would say I'm very anxious.
I get that. After 9/11, there were so many security protocols that we still now have to go through to fly. And I've heard, national security people, especially at the time, we haven't talked about it as much recently, but closer to 9/11, after all these things were implemented to fly on an airplane, say, yes, these are good. These are good things. They will make flying more secure and everybody will be safer. However, the thing that is going to make people the most safe is that American patriots now know that if they see something weird happening on a plane, somebody's going to stand up to that.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about this election, that there have been a lot of things that have been put in place, laws, COVID things clawed back that shouldn't have been ever at all. And that's good. We need actually more of that. But in 2020, going into 2020, there was very little talk about watching out for fraud and, making sure that everybody was on the same page and watching for this and that in specific. Now there is. Now American patriots, they are watching for that stuff.
Well, the thing about it is in 2020, they changed all those rules so last minute that people weren't even sure what to watch out for.
It's very true.
I mean, like Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court just said, hey, we're going to change the rules. That's not what the Constitution of Pennsylvania says, but they said, hey, we're going to do it anyway. And so, it was such an outlier of an election that whenever you have that much chaos, and that's all you need to do is sow chaos, you could get away with stuff if you wanted to.
Pennsylvania voters, undecided voters, were in a focus group of sorts, like a digital focus group, and they were talking about this new accusation from the Kamala Harris camp about Donald Trump's obvious Hitler ties. That's what you lead with, folks. If that's true, that's what you lead with. There should be zero other arguments that precede this dude loves Hitler. If that's actually the truth, the God's honest truth, and you have the ability to say, this is the case. This is the reality of this man. You're not like, well, we'll just hold that one back in case we feel like we really have to play that card. No, you play that card, you win the game. It's a knockout punch. If it's real, if it's true and honest, if it's believable. You don't do it now in the midst of policy questions that every voter out there has right now about Kamala Harris, and in the midst of a lack of confidence that Kamala Harris has sowed into the minds of those voters who are like, I can't stand the orange man, but you got to give me something to feel like you can handle this. You got to put us in a position that one way or another, we are in a position to believe that whatever comes up, that at least you'll be able to handle it. The closing argument from the Kamala Harris camp is he's Hitler. That's not a closing argument. That is a Hail Mary, because if it were real, you'd lead with it. Mark Halperin had 8 voters in a focus group, and they were talking about this. These are Pennsylvania undecided voter focus group. I kind of question the word undecided. I'm always like, define it. Are you just trying to figure out if you can stomach the vote for Kamala Harris or if you can stomach the vote for Donald Trump? Because I feel like that's undecided.
There's a wide variety of what could be called undecided.
Yeah. Mark Halperin is asking, and they're talking about the new or resurgence of the Hitler accusations about Donald Trump.
I can't. I think part of the reason why I'm being pushed towards Trump so strongly is that I find that the Democrats and the left just keep going straight to Hitler all of the time with everything. And if it's not the left pushing Hitler, it's the right pushing Stalin. So it's like we're fighting World War II every single day for every single election. So it's so exhausting. I think it just detracts from, it pushes me away from their position, and it's so hyperbolic that it makes it impossible to have good discussions, and I think it ruins the discourse.
Does anybody think it's valuable or something you want to hear from the vice president?
That's
Anybody?
Mark Halperin.
Raise your hand if you think this is something that's important for her to be talking about.
And there are 8 voters
Anybody?
there, and nobody raises their hand. That's where we are right now. If you're undecided one way or the other, why you're undecided, who knows? If you're undecided, this story right now, this story isn't the thing that's changing your mind. This story is not the lead thing on your brain where you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Well, it's because you've seen Donald Trump so much. People are like, oh, this is all baked into the cake. Well, they also know that this guy has run now the 3rd presidential campaign, that at this moment is finally the time that somebody said, I have to tell you. I didn't want to tell you back in 2020, but he was walking around talking about Hitler all the time. This time, though, I'm going to tell you that. Well, why didn't you tell me last time if that were true? Because you had the opportunity.
And I would go back to what Steve Cortez, who worked with Donald Trump, who has worked very hard as an advocate for his campaign and with Donald Trump as president of the United States. He made this point, and I reiterated this point. I was like, just to be clear here, are you saying it's profitable to be the person, Kelly, who comes out and says this? Is it profitable to be that person? And he laughed and was like, oh my gosh, yes.
Heck yeah.
So if you're in a position to, step into the fire and say, you know what, I didn't want to have to do this, but here's what I know. If you're putting I think about Tony Bobulinski. Tony Bobulinski is a perfect example of somebody who came out and put everything on the line to tell the truth about what Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were doing with Burisma, with their connections in China, with their business deals, Joe Biden's involvement in it, the Biden brand being Joe Biden. Tony Bobulinski put everything on the line for that moment because he wanted that to come out and be known by people. And at the same time, people are like, well, Annie, Tony Bobulinski is the same thing as Kelly. Kelly is a politician. Kelly is looking for headlines. Kelly is looking for publicity, and he's probably looking for more book deals or whatever. That's how that's the function. Tony Bobulinski, you never heard of him until he came out and said this. He came out of the shadows to say something that he believed that the American people needed to hear. That is a huge difference. John Kelly stands to benefit enormously from doing what he's doing. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, completely irrelevant in their former versions of themselves. And like a snake crawling out of their skin, they now slither into the Democrat Party so that they can once again be relevant. They have a lane now. They get to be everybody's favorite Republican. Yes, Joe Manchin is your favorite Democrat. He's an independent now, right? Did he leave the Democratic Party? I think he became independent.
Yeah,
everyone's like,
so.
Who's your favorite Democrat? And Joe Manchin's always, you don't prefer Joe Manchin over Republicans that you like. You like Joe Manchin because he makes Democrats look bad. Democrats like Kinzinger and Cheney because in their mind, they make Republicans look bad and frustrated and angry. It's not because you feel like you want more of them. You just like what they do to decimate the party that you despise. You don't want more Adam Kinzingers of the world. You probably honestly want more AOCs of the world, people who are on firmly on the far left side and reliable votes for the people on the left. That's what you want. Is Kamala Harris doing a press conference right now?
Yes.
Can we cue this up to the beginning and see if she spoke here? And because if she's taking questions right now from the media, that is a big deal. And I'd be interested to see who she's taking questions from and what kind of questions they are, if it's a select group of people. But she's in Houston tonight. A lot of people are like, ooh, it's a big deal. Kamala Harris, why is she campaigning in Texas, of all places? A red state. Maybe she's trying to help the Ted Cruz opponent there or whatever. But while you have the Texas Kamala Harris campaign, you also have a Donald Trump Madison Square Garden campaign event percolating as well next week. So you have people going into states that they're not going to win and trying to make a case in a big way. In Texas, Kamala Harris has Beyonce there among a whole host of cast of characters, of celebrities. It's always interesting to me how the main featured celebrities on the Democrat side are celebrities. And the main featured celebrities at Trump rallies, the majority of them are celebrities in the political world.
Yeah.
They're there because Tucker Carlson's a huge name. And that's why they're there. It's not just a list of Hollywood types, athlete types. Do you have ready?
Trying to get there.
Okay. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll cue this up and we'll see. We're supposed to do Ask Us Anything. I might punt that to 2:05. We can take some time to do that. I believe Kamala Harris is taking questions from the press. When we come back, we'll take as much of that as we can stomach. So stick around. We'll have that for you on the Annie Fry Show when we come back.
It's been my dream to have a house where there ain't no clock on the wall.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
We can go.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Time don't exist anymore.
It's that time again, where we choose who we think is the best candidate for office. It's a difficult decision that requires the evaluation of contenders. Do they have the appropriate skills and experience for this office? Are they the right type of leader? Do they have a clear vision? Selecting the right candidate is no easy feat. That's why, for your office, there's ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes choosing the right candidate for any office easy because they only find and send you the most qualified people for your roles. Best of all, they do it fast. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, while you're thinking about that really big decision, rest assured that any other hiring decision will be much easier when you use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This could be your final opportunity to secure the carefree villa home of your dreams at the Preserve in Afton. Free from the hassles of lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal. With prices starting in the 400s, we will build to order or select from one of our 6 move-in ready designer market homes and save thousands. And also receive $10,000 cash to close from the skilled craftsmen of the Mid-America Carpenters Union. For closing costs or bite on your interest rate, visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Greg Keller.
Donald Trump, unless something changes very quickly, he is going to win Nevada, and I find it very hard to believe that he's winning Nevada in convincing fashion that Arizona is even in play.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Peace up, A-Town.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Well, Kamala Harris is in Houston right now. Is that Beyonce event tonight?
As far as I know, yeah.
I think so, right?
She's there.
She's in Houston, and she just talked to the media, and I think that she answered some questions. We're going to listen in to what she has to say here.
President of the United States. So I will be talking about the harm. I will be talking about those who have been directly impacted, and I will also tonight be talking with the American people about the power that you, the American people, have to make a decision about the future course of our country. And do we all agree that there are just certain decisions the government should not be making for individuals and their families? I also do want to address the comment that Donald Trump made about America being the trash can of the world, whatever he said, something along those lines. You know, it's just another example of how he really belittles our country. This is someone who is a former president of the United States, who has a bully pulpit. And this is how he uses it to tell the rest of the world that somehow the United States of America is trash. And I think, again, the President of the United States should be someone who elevates discourse and talks about the best of who we are and invests in the best of who we are. Not someone like Donald Trump who is constantly demeaning and belittling who the American people are. America deserves better. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Ma'am, you're here to talk about reproductive rights in Texas, not exactly a swing state in the last 2 weeks here. But this is an issue that a lot of voters are coming out to vote potentially for you on. But if you don't have a Congress that will codify Roe, like you've been saying on the trail, what specifically is your plan to expand reproductive rights in this country?
Well, when Texans vote for Colin Aldred for the United States Senate, we will be in a position where we actually will be closer to being able to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade. And as I have said, and it is my pledge, when Congress passes a bill putting back in place reproductive freedom, I will sign it into law.
But if you don't have a friendly Congress, there's no plan B, there's no other plan?
We keep fighting. And our country, America, has a history of understanding. We don't give up the fight for freedom. We do not give up the fight when it comes to some of the most basic freedoms any individual in our country has a right to expect, including the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do.
Madam Vice President, staying on Congress, Politico is reporting a House Freedom Caucus leader says that North Carolina should consider giving Trump its electors before votes are counted because the Helene damage was in predominantly Trump counties. What's your reaction to language like that?
America deserves to have leaders who respect the importance of one of the pillars and foundations of our democracy, which is free and fair elections, and that they are not manipulated by elected leaders for the sake of their own political future or their own political strategy for how they themselves want to succeed. This has to be about what's in the best interest of the American people. And one of the big issues in this election and in the next 11 days is, do you want a president who, on one hand, in the former President Donald Trump, tried to undo the will of the people, incited a violent mob to attack the United States Capitol, where 140 law enforcement officers were injured and some were killed? Or do you want a president who respects the will of the people, free and fair elections, and the right of the people to make a decision about who are their leaders?
Some Democrats are concerned that you've pivoted too far away from talking about the economy and really prioritizing that in these final days of the election, that you could end up losing some progressive voters and some working class voters because of that. What do you say to those people, especially ones who might be concerned that, you know, doing a big closing argument speech at a place like the Ellipse, maybe leaning more into talking about the threat of Trump to democracy and not his threats that you see to the economy?
One of the things that I love about the American people is we can hold many thoughts at once. And one of the highest priorities for the American people right now is bringing down cost, and that is the priority of my agenda and will be the priority of my work when I'm elected President of the United States. My priority includes fighting for our democracy, including fighting for the freedom of people to make decisions about their own body, including what we must do to speak out against threats to our democracy, what we must do to speak up in defense of our allies around the world on important international rules and norms such as sovereignty and territorial integrity. All of these issues are issues that affect and concern the American people, and I will continue to speak on all of them.
And Jamie Dimon wants to be a part of your cabinet. Have you talked to him about that? And do you think Wall Street should be a part of your cabinet?
We have 11 days to go. I do not have a cabinet yet. And so the decisions I am making are all about what I will be doing and what we will be doing to remind the American people of the power of their vote.
So you haven't thought about that yet?
I have not.
Madam Vice President, have you voted yet? Have you?
I have not voted yet, but it's on my priority list for these next few days.
Ma'am, one quick question. Mitch McConnell and Speaker Mike Johnson put out a statement comparing rhetoric that you have been using, comparing it to the man who's accused of an attempted assassination on your opponent, Donald Trump. Do you take their criticism seriously?
Well, listen, we all must speak out against any form of political violence, and I'm very clear about that. No one should be the subject of violence, much less political violence. But the American people deserve to be presented with facts and the truth. And the fact and the truth is that some of the people closest to Donald Trump when he was president, generals, including most recently John Kelly, a 4-star Marine general, have been very clear about the danger and the threat that Donald Trump poses to America and the fact that he is unfit to serve. And the American people deserve to hear that and know about that so they can make a decision based on what's in the best interest of themselves and their families.
We talked to a lot of voters, some who are undecided, and while they are turned away from Donald Trump, they also have told us that they felt like they haven't heard enough of your policies specifically. Do you feel that in your messaging in these final days of the election, you're striking the right balance against Trump and talking about the specifics of your own policy enough?
That is a balance that must be struck. There's no question about that. And I invite everyone who's watching to go to KamalaHarris.com, where you will see 80 pages of our policies on a number of issues that include, again, as my priority, what we're going to do to bring down the cost for American families, including the cost of housing, the cost of groceries, the cost of child care, the cost of home health care for seniors. And I will continue to talk about also what we must do to understand the threat that Donald Trump poses to our democracy and our future and our security.
You ready for Beyonce?
Thank you all.
Ma'am, you ready for Beyonce?
All right, she's walking off of the area there where they took questions. I mean, that's Kamala Harris doing a press conference, right? We have not seen that before.
Hey, good for her. And you know what? The biggest difference I've seen from her and Joe Biden is that she knew right where to walk when the stage was
they're like, boom.
Yeah.
Usually the one oppositional reporter gets to yell out something like really, really bad, and then Joe Biden just slowly turns around to the camera, and you can just hear a staff going, Joe.
No, Joe.
And then they try to get him back, and then he says something stupid.
Smiles a little bit.
And then he's just like, gosh, you were 30 seconds away from making it out there. I don't know. I know that you are not listening to the show because you want to hear a press conference or a long scripted thing of Kamala Harris, but she did the press conference, and I wanted to know what that sounds like because we haven't had that yet. We have not seen her come out and answer questions. And I don't the one question that kind of had me scratching my head was this person, I don't even remember what the specifics were about it, but was asking about who she would have in her cabinet. So he asked her about if you're elected, are you going to do this? And she's like, I'm not the president yet. I'm working on becoming the president and coming up with the things that we're going to do when I'm the president. And it was you have to pick a cabinet.
You know what, though?
Do you have thoughts on that? Is there anything you can share? Any guidance that you can provide as to how you would apply your decision-making skills, pause for effect, to choosing a cabinet that would represent the people who you would like to have come vote for you right now? And then she was asked, have you voted yet? And then she started to be like, I'm really busy. That's the stupidest thing you can say. You don't say that. You say, yes, I absolutely have a plan to vote. We haven't done it yet, but you will be the first to know when I do. We will make sure that the American people are aware. And I do encourage you to early vote, just as I intend to early vote myself. None. She was like, I haven't done it yet. I've got a lot of things to do.
It's on my list?
Yes, it's on my list. It's on your list.
You know what, though? Journalism in Texas is not dead because those were some pretty good questions. They asked her, stuff that you're like, I want to hear the answer to this question. Now, she didn't answer it, but at least they were asking it. One of them was...
A non-answer is an answer.
Absolutely. And one of the questions was, in that very brief press conference, people are suggesting that you're just talking about Trump being a threat to democracy over and over, and you're not addressing things that people care about, like the economy. And her answer to that question was, I answer a whole lot of things. I say a lot of stuff. One of the things that I say is that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. And also, we got to talk about abortion more. That's basically her answer to that question.
And it matters that you know that when she's asked that question, that's where her brain goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what the script says. Yeah.
Well, Donald Trump also delivering a bit of a press conference right now. Let's listen in to see what he's saying in Austin, Texas. So there's a little crossover right now. Texas is really getting the job done.
Pretty good amount, isn't it, Ted, huh? The outrageous decision goes against the very bedrock of our democracy, and thankfully, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, who's doing a terrific job, is working hard to fix this problem. They found thousands of illegal votes, and the judge said, you didn't do it in a timely fashion. They did it a long time ago. As legal scholar Andy McCarthy just said, and very correctly, how can non-citizens be allowed on the voter rolls if their voting is a federal crime? Constitutional law professor Jonathan Turley, two great guys, by the way, also notes that it is a crime to be a non-citizen voter. Removing illegal voters off the voting roll should be a big priority for this country, and yet instead we're scorned by a judge. This is blatantly un-American, and it's election interference, and Kamala Harris is behind it very much. And so I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And obviously, it's up to the governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, but I assume they're going to be appealing it. I think he's going to. And they feel very strongly about it, so we'll see how it goes. But you have to get the confidence going for elections when you have decisions coming down like that where they allow people to vote that blatantly aren't qualified to vote. It's pretty sad for our country. We have enough problems with the elections. It's about confidence. We're here today in the great state of Texas, which I like it. I like it. Which under Kamala Harris has been turned into ground zero for the largest border invasion in the history of the world. You're lucky you have your governor and people like Ted and Dan and all of the people, Sid. Even John, who's from a different state, but he feels the same way, or you would really have problems. But you've done an amazing job under the circumstances. But the federal government's supposed to be doing that job, and it should be easy, and it's not because of the people. But over the past 4 years, this state has become Kamala's staging ground to import her army of migrant gangs and illegal alien criminals into every state in America. And every state's a border state. You've heard that. It's true. Paving a trail of bloodshed, suffering, and death all across our land. And it's only getting worse. It's just incredible when you look at the numbers. 21 million people at least during this 3.5-year period. And many of them, as you know, are murderers, drug dealers, people from jails. They're letting their people out of jails and bringing them right into our country. We're like a dumping ground. What Kamala Harris has done on our border is cruel, it's vile, and it's absolutely heartless. Her policy of importing migrant gangs is a crime against our country. It's actually a crime against humanity, and her abolition of our border should disqualify her for even running. I don't know how you can run for the president of the United States and allow people to pour into our country. And we're talking about seriously criminal people, many of these people, and they come from all over the world. It's not just South America. They're coming in from Africa. They're coming in from the Middle East. The Congo, that's a hot place right now. A lot of people coming in from prisons in the Congo. They're coming into our country. It's not even believable, actually, when you think. You're standing up here, you're saying this stuff, John Barrasso, but you're saying this, and you say to yourself, is it even believable? It's sort of like, actually in a smaller way, but still very important, men playing in women's sports. Who would want that? But, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, you would never say that, and then you have the transgender operations all over the place, and you're saying this, and you have parental guidance, and we want our child to be parentally guided, and you have to make apologies for the fact that they're not, but they're going to be, and we're going to bring that back. We want our parents. But, you know, if you go back 10 years or 15 years ago, if you ever made a speech like that, they'd say, this guy's crazy. What is he talking about? Those things would never happen, and they didn't happen until a certain time ago with the radical left. No person who is responsible for so much bloodshed on our own soil can ever be allowed to become president of the United States. And I think she's coming here today. She doesn't want to go to a swing state because she's losing so badly in those states, so she decided to come to Texas, and I'm sure she'll be treated very nicely. Today, she picked the wrong place. I think she picked the wrong place. What do I know about politics? I haven't done it that long, actually. But today, Kamala is here in Texas to rub shoulders with woke celebrities. Isn't that exciting? But she's not going to meet with any of the victims of migrant crime while she's here. We have many of them right here, the families. We have many of them. And they're incredible people, what they've gone through, the hell that they've gone through, and will continue to go through, unfortunately. She'll not speak to the grieving mothers from whom she has stolen the brightest light in their life. She was in charge of this border, and she doesn't like being called border czar anymore. She didn't mind it almost 4 years ago, but now she doesn't like it. But you don't need that term. She was in charge of the border. She never came here, and she never made one call to these people behind me or anybody in the group. Not one call. She's in charge. She deals with Border Patrol. She hasn't made, Paul, not one call in 4 years. So we're joined today by a Texas mom, Alexis Nungary from Houston, a great woman. This past June, thank you. Great one. Where is Alexis? Where is she? Come up here, Alexis. Come up here. So this past June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious angel, as you say, Jocelyn, we all called her that. We feel we know Jocelyn, and she's had a big impact, Alexis. You know that, right? She's had a big impact. Walked to a nearby convenience store. Jocelyn was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted, and I'm not going any further than that. I'm standing with the mother. And horrible things happened to her, to that young, beautiful girl. And the animals arrested for Jocelyn's barbaric murder are 2 illegal aliens believed to be members of the savage Venezuelan prison gang known as Tren de Aragua. And they're all over the place now. They're all over our country. They were in Aurora, but Aurora's now the least of it. They've taken over buildings in Aurora. The government, a radical left Democrat, weak person, doesn't know quite what to do. He's always got a big mouth when he talks about other things, but he has no idea what to do. Then they have weapons of military grade. You say, how did they get those weapons? These monsters were in Border Patrol custody, but under a program Kamala Harris created to abolish detention for fighting-aged men, whatever that means, and give them free and automatic entry into the United States. The killers were released into our country, and Alexis, we cannot begin to imagine your pain. And if you'd like to say a few words, would you like to? Would you? Thank you. Thank you, darling.
I want to thank everybody for Donald Trump, really, for the opportunity to be able to say my daughter's story. I know everybody knows somebody that was like her. She was 12. She was going to be a 7th grader, preteens. They think they're invincible. And she was just being a child. And due to the Biden-Harris policies we have here are why she's not here anymore. She was taken from her vulnerability, and they made her a target and ran with that. And now I will forever be a grieving mother, and my son will forever be a grieving brother who will no longer get to grow up with his sister. Kamala Harris has never reached out to me, just even as a human, to give her condolences as a humane person running this country. I think it's very sad that she can't even just give me an open apology, sincere apology. She's attempted to apologize to me just days before this election, and I find it very inconvenient and a convenience for her. I appreciate everything Donald Trump, Senator Ted Cruz has done for me. They've been a tremendous amount of help for me and my family during this incredibly hard journey for me. I want to thank everybody for listening to my words. Thank you.
Well, that was Alexis, the mother of this young 12-year-old girl. This is gut-wrenching to watch. The 12-year-old at home myself, and understanding the pain that she's going through, I can't even fathom. There you have it in one segment, back to back. Really, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, 2 press conferences.
Both in Texas.
Both in Texas. Trump in Austin and Kamala Harris in Houston. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's discuss the YouTube live chat poll. The question we're asking you on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, come over and say hello. Which Trump's second term would be more effective? Should he have won in 2020? Or now that he has the opportunity to win in 2024? Which one can he be more effective in? The Annie Fry YouTube channel. If you come vote there, you can leave a comment if you so choose. We'd love to know what you think about it. And in the 2 o'clock hour, we'll kick it off with Ask Us Anything. So leave your questions as well. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, just a phone call or a text message away. Have you thought about getting yourself a much improved monthly payment on your mortgage situation? I just paid my mortgage last night, and I was very grateful every time I do that, and I go in and I see my super low rate that I got when I refied with Stewie using the Bagel Loan. When it doesn't cost you a penny to go through the process, because there are 0 closing costs when you use the Bagel Loan. They don't get stuck anywhere else. They don't get rolled into the long-term loan. You can get yourself a lower rate. You can maybe shorten the years on the length of your loan with one smart phone call. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Stewie is waiting for you to call. He's waiting for you to ask the questions, and he is prepared to give you the information that puts you in the best economic situation for you. Whether you are looking to buy a new home or you're looking for a refinance, Stewart's American Mortgage is there to help you with that process. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
If you needed one more reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler, get this. Diamonds Direct maintains involvement in the entire diamond process and handpicks the best just for you. You see, any jeweler can claim to be a direct importer or have so-called partnerships overseas, but Diamonds Direct has special access that others simply don't have. Nobody can get closer to the source than Diamonds Direct. Indeed, Diamonds Direct is recognized in the industry as a world diamond powerhouse with unrivaled buying power and decades of inside connections that go back to their roots as actual diamond cutters. Bottom line, Diamonds Direct is without question the jeweler here that can truly offer the absolute best value. We're true talking direct importer prices on hand-selected diamonds that come straight from the source. Make no mistake, Diamonds Direct refuses to be undersold on GIA-certified diamonds. And we challenge you, let us prove it. Diamonds Direct, your source for the ultimate diamond value. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at ThrottleNet, and you've probably heard George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet on the show. He's a technology whiz, and George and his team can educate you and your business on the dangers lurking with technology. Here's a unique opportunity along those lines. Does your company have a lunch and learn or guest speakers? For a limited time, ThrottleNet is providing free lunch and learns to provide cybersecurity awareness training. One click can cause a ton of damage to your business. ThrottleNet is determined to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does, they're the cybersecurity experts who can help. ThrottleNet is known for high customer satisfaction, averaging 99% happiness with over 35,000 surveys. They have an industry-leading response time of less than 2 minutes. And no clients of ThrottleNet have ever paid ransom as a result of a cyber attack. Contact ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971 and we can schedule your free company lunch. Don't miss out. Find out more today about ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-age children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer.
St. Louis City 2 is in the MLS Next Pro postseason. Join us Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park as City 2 battles it out in the Western Conference semifinals. Tickets only $13 with player meet and greets, free games, face painting, and more. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com. Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park. Don't miss out on the action and be there as we cheer our team to the finals. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com.
When you withdraw money from your IRA or 401k in retirement, you could trigger an avalanche of taxes. Learn how you could avoid this with your retirement professors. Sunday evening at 6 on KFTK 97.1 FM Talk.
Today's Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll is which Trump second term would be more effective? Theoretically, would it have been 2020 or would it be 2024?
Say it again.
We want to know. Annie's standing right next to me.
Start from the top.
Okay. Here we go. The YouTube live chat poll today, which Trump second term would be more effective, 2020 or 2024, theoretically? Because obviously we don't know yet. So we'll find out soon, but we want to know which one you think would have been or would be more effective. You type in Annie Fry on YouTube, and that's how you find it. Thank you very much. You are clapping certainly because this time check has been brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
If your family has been touched by Alzheimer's, join with 97.1 listeners and many others at St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's on Saturday, October 26th at Chesterfield Park. It's a community of support. Register today at 971talk.com/events.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
She's gonna pack up, she's gonna find a way, she's gonna get right out of this. She don't want New York, she don't want LA, she's gonna find her special kiss. She don't want no soup, she don't want no how. Ooh, like peaches and cream. She's gonna wish on stars and touch the sky. You know what I mean?
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Did I delete that? I hope I didn't. I think I did. Man.
The video you just took?
Yeah, I think I did.
Don't do that.
I don't understand how to use Snapchat. I'm an old person. I just use it for the filters. Then I download the video and upload it on Facebook and to X, which we used to call Twitter.
But you deleted it?
I don't know.
I'm okay if you did. It makes
I'm
me
not.
look stupid.
It doesn't make you look stupid. You
It
look
does.
great.
It makes me look like I have giant eyes and a huge mouth.
You looked
and
adorable.
my voice sounds
That's the
like
best
a
you've ever
leprechaun.
looked. Are you kidding me?
If that's true, that's unfortunate. Because it's a comedic filter.
Well, that's a you thing.
No. I think that if you put that out to the people, they would say, yes, this makes Ryan look stupid.
I don't think so. That might be Monday's poll.
I'm fine with that.
Go subscribe and see this video and tell me if this guy looks stupider than Ryan in real life.
Although I'm a little concerned about the framing of that people might be Mr. Jokey Joke and vote, yes, he looks better.
Mr. Jokey Joke.
I don't love that either.
We're going to do the video again because I think I deleted it. Gosh darn it.
We'll have to do it at 2:45.
Yeah.
I can't do a time check before
The YouTube
that.
live chat poll is which Trump second term would be more effective, 2020 or 24. What do you guys think? Brian or Brad, you go first this time. What do you think?
I think I'm going to go with 2024. And the reason I think that is because people have gotten a nice, healthy dose of what a Democrat-run country is and what it turns out like and how it affects your life. And now they know. And I think that what you will have in 2024 that you wouldn't have in 2020 is you will have a bunch of people who are like, let's go, let's get this done. He would have the support and the mandate of the people, not just Congress and the Senate.
2024?
Yep, 2024.
Amanda says there would have been less for him to fix in 2020 versus now. However, I feel he is a different person now and will be more effective. That's an interesting way to look at it. Officer Gary says 2024 will be better by far. Trump will be more aware of how D.C. works. He will get rid of legacy bureaucrats that worked against him and no COVID. It's a very interesting point to make that when Donald Trump would go in for his second term in 2024, should he win in 11 days, that he would really have to start from scratch again or have the opportunity to start with a clean slate. And I can imagine that in 2024, that looks a whole lot different than 2020.
Yeah, and just practically to this question, he has more time now to plan. Just who does he want? Because he had to do it. You're the president of the United States. You got to do it. But now he has had the opportunity to sort of reset his focus. And I think one of those things that Brad kind of mentioned this is that we've all realized just how dangerous government run amok can be. And we knew that, but now we really know that. And making that a priority for 2024 is probably higher on the list than it was in 2020. Therefore, I think he's going to be able to get more done.
What about the difference between Trump-Pence and Trump-Vance?
That's a good question. Your vice president is basically a media surrogate or is out there doing things that...
I don't think so.
I mean,
not
I know
not in a second term
they
at
put
all.
Pence in charge of COVID in some ways, but I just view the VP as somebody who's out there giving the message much more than anything.
When you have Mike Pence out there doing his conveyor belt old fashioned Republican conservative thing, of which I'm not entirely opposed to. It's just I'm not attracted to it as a voter per se. Versus the youth of J.D. Vance and the relatability of J.D. Vance and his rock solid understanding of conservative values. That is a forward-thinking approach. Mike Pence was not going to come out of a second term of Donald Trump and become the next president of the United States. No shot.
No. And that alone, regardless of whether Vance has presidential aspirations or not, I figured that he probably would, being the VP, but that alone makes Vance better.
Oh, man, it's too big of a question to ask right now with 20 seconds left. I'll ask it on the other. It'll be my first question in our next question segment, which is our Ask Us Anything question segment. We're transitioning over to the title Next Question. That's coming up next at the top of the 2 o'clock hour. Annie Fry YouTube channel to get your questions for us in. We'll be right back.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Former CIA officer Jason Hansen here. As someone who's dedicated my life to protecting people, I know the importance of guarding what matters most. Right now, with global instability and the dollar's declining value, that means securing your financial assets with gold. For me, I trust Advantage Gold with my own investments. Give them a call at 800-900-8000 for a 100% free gold guide. Again, call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Please consider a Lutheran education for your grandchild or for your child. If you're listening to this right now, you need to understand that Lutheran education is an accessible and amazing opportunity for the education of your student, that child that you love. The investment that it takes is incredibly affordable. It's incredibly accessible. I send my children to a Lutheran school. I went to Lutheran elementary school in Edwardsville. I went to a Lutheran high school that's in Edwardsville. And there are Lutheran schools all over the bi-state region in Missouri. I love every single one of them because they're providing an opportunity for your child to learn in an environment that you can trust. Need I say any more that when you turn over your child or your grandchild to a classroom that you understand exactly what they are going to do and what they're not going to do? LESASTL.org/Annie. LisaSTL.org/Annie. LisaSTL.org/Annie.
If you're planning to sell and also buy a home in the near future, I know what you're going through. Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty knows selling and buying your next home at the same time can be tricky, especially in our area. Hey, Mark Cox here. If you need to sell and buy at the same time, this is for you. Gloria Lou has several great options for her home sellers, including her Sell and Stay program. That gets you the most money possible for your current home and allows you to stay put until you find your next home. No more stress, worries, or hassles. Gloria Lou makes selling your St. Louis area home easy, and she's been doing this for more than 21 years. Why risk working with an average realtor when you can work with the best? The name to remember is Gloria Lou of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call Gloria today at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com, 314-325-6888 or GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A federal judge's order may allow some non-citizens to vote in Virginia. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. About 1,600 people's names ordered restored to the voter rolls.
U.S. District Judge Patricia Giles says the registrations were illegally purged in an effort to stop non-citizens from voting, calling the action by Virginia's election officials, quote, a clear violation of the federally mandated 90-day quiet period before an election that restricts states from making big changes to their voter rolls.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Virginia's Governor Glenn Youngkin says those removed were clearly ineligible.
This is a stunning ruling by a federal judge who is ordering Virginia to reinstate individuals who have self-identified as non-citizens back on the voter rolls.
The governor says the state will appeal immediately up to the Supreme Court if necessary. Former President Trump weighing in on it at a campaign event a short time ago in Austin, Texas.
You have decisions coming down like that where they allow people to vote that blatantly aren't qualified to vote. It's pretty sad for our country. We have enough problems with the elections.
After his speech on border security, he'll tape a podcast with Joe Rogan. Vice President Harris is in Houston, where she's briefly spoken with reporters, saying her campaign event tonight will focus on reproductive rights.
I will be talking about the harm. I will be talking about those who have been directly impacted, and I will also tonight be talking with the American people about the power that you, the American people, have to make a decision about the future course of our country. And do we all agree that there are just certain decisions the government should not be making for individuals and their families?
Washington Post has announced it will not endorse either candidate in this year's election. Wall Street, an hour before the close, the Dow is down 176 points. NASDAQ is up 141. The S&P 500 about 9 points higher. America is listening to Fox News.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The northwest flow taking over really locks in tonight. We're looking for a high of about 75 with a slow drop in temperature. Partly to mostly sunny skies for the rest of the afternoon. Tonight, clear skies and chilly, going down to 48. Saturday, sunny, 65 degrees, beautiful. Saturday night, clear and a nippy 43. And Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks?
What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. As a business owner in these uncertain economic times, you struggle to guard your life's work against unexpected challenges. But can it withstand the sudden disruption of a divorce? When your hard-earned work is at risk, count on our experience and advocacy in handling these matters at Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of our Missouri or Illinois attorneys. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Town & Country, Missouri, 63017. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
97.1 FM Talk is your home for Election Night 2024. On air and online, we're covering the races that matter most to you with real-time results and expert commentary. Democracy 2024.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Great show so far, especially for a Friday. We've had Joe Machi in studio with us in the 12 o'clock hour. If you're interested in seeing Joe Machi tonight at the Streets of St. Charles Funny Bone, go check him out, stlewisfunnybone.com. And he's got 2 shows tonight, 7:30 and 9:30, Saturday, 7 and 9 p.m. as well. And you can get your tickets at stlewisfunnybone.com. In the 1 o'clock hour, we got to watch a Kamala Harris press conference. It was short, but it was a press conference.
And we think that was the first one she's done.
I think it was.
It was.
Maybe 5-6 minutes.
She made a speech, Tanny's speech, and then she said, and I'll take your questions. So, yeah, I think that was the first that I know of.
Yeah, Fox always sends me an update every morning. It's been this many days without a Kamala Harris press conference.
Man, the person counting those is bummed today.
Yeah, it's like, oh, now what do I do?
Back to zero. But that press conference, I'll give her this. Those did not seem like pre-screened questions. They seemed like they were tough, fair questions.
You're giving it more credit than I would, but I don't think that they were just total softballs. I think she just gave crap answers.
Yeah,
or
I
just
also think that.
Just not necessarily bad answers, maybe good political answers.
I don't know. Like you said, you ask them, well, did you vote yet? You go, no, I didn't vote yet, but I want to impress upon people the importance of early voting. She didn't do it. She wasn't ready for some of those. So I don't think that was, I don't know. Her answers are never very good.
Folks should go back and listen to it on your own in the Odyssey app. Our podcast will be up there, AUDACY. You can listen to the Annie Fry Show 97.1 anytime you want. You download that app, AUDACY. You can also go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and rewind. It was about 1:25 is when the two of them were happening. Let's get to next question.
Next question. It's a legitimate question. Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
First question, we're just going to go around the room just to reiterate the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll for today for folks who are coming on to type in their questions for us. We've got Brad, Ethan, Ryan, and myself in the room right now. Straight up answer, 2020 or 2024, which Trump's second term would be more effective? Brad?
2024.
Ethan?
Completely agree, 2024.
Ryan?
2024.
All right. I'm going to say 2024 as well. Should he win re-election this time? Obviously, he didn't in 2020. Obviously, he didn't in 2020. Calm down, people. I think 2024 for sure. If you have thoughts on that, go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Vote in the live chat poll right there in today's live broadcast. Ryan, next question.
Okay, question. Monopoly at McDonald's. Do you think they should bring it back? Because October was when they usually did that. Do you think they should bring it back? Although...
Has it been back since it was corrupt?
No.
Okay.
It's been gone forever.
I kind of would still play it even if I knew it was corrupt because it was fun. And you could win small fries.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that what they did? I was trying to remember what the point of the
$1 million.
Was. Oh, is that what it was?
You got to find Boardwalk.
Yeah, Boardwalk and Park Place.
Okay, this kind of is coming back a little bit. This was kind of when I was younger, though. So
yeah, but they didn't have any Boardwalks or something.
Well, the Boardwalks went to like friends of the people printing them or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's corrupt. McDonald's Monopoly was fun.
It is fun.
And exciting.
I agree.
That's
stealing that thing off of the soda.
Oh, yeah. And then, okay, I'll upcharge it. I'll go up the next level just to get the 4 pieces.
It could be $1 million.
Yeah.
Or
it could be a bike or something random. Like, oh, yeah, Marvin Gardens.
I was already getting the supersized stuff anyway whenever that was popular.
Yeah.
So.
Follow-up question, your favorite place on a Monopoly board?
Ooh.
Or favorite color properties to own?
I always tried to get the low-end ones because you knew
You're
that...
slumlord?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to be a slumlord. You knew that percentage-wise, people would land on them the most because that's where you start. So if you got the early ones, you had a higher percentage chance of people landing on them.
Man, I was not good at it, so I liked the free parking. But I always would go
what
for
color
the
properties.
I would always go for the railroads.
Railroads are good.
Yeah. So that railroads and utilities.
Yeah.
I've never played Monopoly.
What?
Oh, what? Are you kidding me? Not even at McDonald's?
St. Louis Monopoly just came out.
I
We
heard.
should play.
Yeah, we should get together and play St. Louis Monopoly and be like, instead of the B&O Railroad, it's the trolley.
Let me ask this. With St. Louis Monopoly, how does the go-to-jail thing work?
Nobody goes to
do
jail.
Do you go to jail?
No, there is no jail.
Oh, man.
I like the yellow properties. I like the yellow ones and the ones that were right before the corner where you could land on free parking and get stuff there. Like you're like hoping that you land on free parking so you can get the money in the middle. That's how we played it. Where if you paid utilities, it went in the middle. It's like, I don't think that that's standard rules, but I think that
That's the
most
way
people
most
do
people
that.
play it.
Yeah. But people are like, oh, I'm going to land on a land. Oh, nope, sorry, you owe me $28.
I forgot when I was a kid, the one everybody wanted to own around us was Illinois Avenue.
Illinois Avenue. Yeah. All right.
That's the red one.
Ethan, next question. You got one for us here?
Oh, geez. Hold on. Go ahead. And,
Brad, next question.
Yeah,
thank you.
so my question is if you could take any two animals and switch their sounds that they make, what two animals would you pick?
You go first.
Of course I go first. I want to switch the screaming goats and crickets.
Crickets?
That sounds terrible.
So you have a bazillion little insects that go, ah!
Imagine trying to sleep with that.
Yeah, no kidding.
It'd be awful.
And be much more impactful at night, when you open your windows, when it's starting to get cool outside. in the spring, but not cold, and you're like, let's listen to summer starting to set in, and it's just a bunch of I'll pass. What about you?
I'll make this real simple. I want to switch dogs and cats. Because I want to hear what cats would do with that kind of power. And I also think that it might be fun to just have dogs that aren't loud, at 3 a.m. And cats don't go out as much. So I think there'd be a benefit for everybody.
Ethan, do you have an answer to this question?
I'm going to have to think about this one. I'm struggling to put together
You really don't
right
have
now.
to think about it.
No.
Don't hurt
really
yourself
don't.
over
No, I'm
it.
going to, at some point in this segment, come up with my answer to this one. I need time, guys. I need time.
Foxes and sloths.
What sounds do they make?
I have no idea. But then I'd find out.
Yeah, you switch them and you go, something weird about that fox.
All right, I'm going to go with my next question. The ideal wake-up time and bedtime for you. Like, ideal. What's your favorite time to wake up and the favorite time to go to bed?
Oh, I like waking up at about 8 if I can. Usually can't. My favorite time to go to bed would be 11.
Ethan?
Waking up probably 9:30, and going to bed probably around 1.
Yeah, all things considered, 9 o'clock. Ideal waking up time. Bedtime, I don't know, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm 10 a.m. and 1 a.m.
Okay.
If I can lay in bed and wake up and it's 9 something and I can kind of lay there to the point where it takes me till about 10 to fully wake up, I think my most favorite sacred time is when you wake up in the morning and you don't have to get out of bed right away and you can just kind of lay there and be awake but not have to be doing anything. Maybe look at your phone, but unbothered. And I just don't like to go to bed, so I like to stay up late.
That's one of the best things about college. You just had, unless you had an early class, you had no responsibilities.
And if you had an early class, you were doing it wrong.
Yeah, you were. Unless that's the only time you could get that class. Because I had one at 8 a.m. and I was so mad.
Same.
But staying up late was great in college because that's when a lot of the socialization happens after midnight,
Yeah.
People are just hanging out.
What time was your bedtime? Ideal?
11 now.
Your ideal bedtime is 11?
Yeah, I could probably push that to midnight, but 11, yeah.
So you're the early to bed for us. All right.
I'm actually not getting up that early at 8 o'clock, but everybody else is later.
I said early to bed.
What do you think? This is my next question.
Later. Next question, Ryan.
What do you think about graffiti art? When you see it around, even if it's not...
Are you talking about vandalism?
No, I'm not talking about vandalism.
Are you excluding vandalism?
Yes, excluding vandalism.
Because driving down Tucker Boulevard and seeing this building that's right across the street that gets tagged in the most obnoxiously big, obscene ways, and this city doesn't give a rat's patoot about how that looks, makes me filled with rage. It
Not
makes
that.
me so mad.
Not that one.
No, this is like, obviously, soapbox stuff for me. That St. Louis, listen, when you're driving in 5570 out of St. Louis into Illinois, right bordered with East St. Louis, there's a whole wall of intentional, painted, cultural representation, murals. And I think it's actually really beautiful and colorful, and it's very aesthetically pleasing. The city behind it is just dilapidated, and I wish so much that Illinois would get their heads out of their butts and realize that you could make that a business epicenter on the river across from the only blue city in the Missouri area right here that's making dumb decisions like crazy. Put the business on the Illinois side. In that regard, I'm okay with it. If it's intentional, if it's planned, I think it adds flavor and culture to an area. But boy, as soon as you start seeing broken windows, which is an entire philosophy, broken windows, and graffiti tags all over things where they're not supposed to be, it's like just the biggest, boldest way of saying we don't give a crap about this city. Yeah. What do you think?
I think it depends on location, and I think it depends on if it looks good or not. I mean, there's some people go out there and they just spray and they look like a 12-year-old with a marker writing on a wall. I mean, that doesn't look good, obviously. But if you go into an intentional spot and you're actually trying to create art
it's like
where it makes
sanctioned,
sense,
yeah.
then I'm fine with it.
So we're talking about graffiti. Am I okay with it?
Not vandalism, graffiti, just graffiti art.
Yeah, I like it. I like watching. I mean, as long as they're like hired to do it, or they've got an area that's their area that they're doing it at. I think there are some great graffiti artists out there. They can create some really cool looking things. Like you see those pictures like in downtown Los Angeles of the big wings, and everybody wants to get their selfie taken in front of that or whatever. Stuff like that is really cool, provided that the owner of the property is on board. And it's not really it's not a tag. It's not lame. You put some effort into it. It looks good. I'm a fan of it.
I want to like it. I just usually don't see anything. Once in a while, you see somebody, you really, really did a nice big block of art there. But most of the time, man, you're going to take the time to do this, whether it's legal or not. Whether some of them are under overpasses. We're like, how did you even get up there? And then you just write your name in bubble letters. That's all you're doing. It always frustrates me.
I encourage you, the next time you're bored and looking for a rabbit hole to go down, pay attention to the tags that you see downtown St. Louis and start Googling them, and then learn about whose tags belong to whom. I've done that before.
Okay.
That's fun.
Today, when I was driving in this morning, Tucker Boulevard, get off the Stan Musial Bridge, driving downtown, there's a man he was walking down the street, and he just turned to his left and just peed.
Were his pants already
that
down?
Is art.
He's not like you. He doesn't have his pants around his ankles while he's peeing. He just turned and peed. It was unbelievable.
I think I just glitched. I don't know how to respond to that.
There's no response. I just looked and I'm
Very
like, okay.
intense accusation.
I guess that's what we do here. You've got just public urination on the side. It was like 10:45 in the morning or something like that. It might have been 11 in the morning. Urination right here, a tent city back there, graffiti all over the place. People passed out. You look at them and you hope that they're alive. We, as a city, we are not caring for these people, and we are not caring for our city. It's terrible. Brad, next question here, and then we'll take a break.
Okay, so the question I have is if you get to ask Trump one question that he has to answer honestly, what would it be?
What's yours?
I think I'm going to ask him about aliens. Like, what have they revealed to you about aliens? Or maybe it's who shot JFK. Those are the two things that I would want to know.
Ryan?
I don't necessarily want to know the specifics of any question. I want to know how much does he know they were keeping back from him? Because if they were, if there's all this stuff, whether it be conspiracy stuff or just general intelligence, how much does he know that the people he's supposed to trust were not trusting him?
Ethan?
Yeah, I think the thing that I would want to know is what piece of classified information that he learned surprised him the most. So not necessarily a specific subject, but to know what was the most like for him, like, whoa.
I think I wouldn't ask him about any of that. I don't think I would want to know any of that stuff. I actually kind of am a ignorance is bliss type of a person for a lot of this stuff. Like, I if it becomes news, I'm going to want to know what the answers to the aliens, the JFK, the classified, all the conspiracy theories that we've talked about before. I'd have to think on this more if I were given the opportunity to talk to him. But I would want to know something about Donald Trump, the man. I don't really care about... I know enough about who he is, his policies, like as a politician, as a public figure. I think I would want to know, like, when you completely take politics and everything out of it, like, what makes him the happiest? When is he the happiest? Where do you put yourself in life? Like, if you need a shot of happiness in your arm, where do you go? And what delivers that for you? Because I wonder if we would be surprised by the answer. Maybe we wouldn't. All right, we got more questions coming in from you. Ethan will feature some of your questions when we come back here. So if you want to get a good question in for the crew, it can be about anything. Annie Fry YouTube channel. And in the comments section right there, fire your questions off. We'll filter through as many as we can in the next segment. You can also vote in today's YouTube live chat poll, which Trump's second term would be most effective. We'll be right back.
2 years and just like that, my head still takes me back. Thought it was done, but guess it's
This
never
is the
been
Annie Fry Show.
over.
Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Guess it's never really over. Just because it's over doesn't mean it's really
STS-Armory.com. If you are looking for firearms, if you're in the midst of hunting season being upon us and you need accessories or ammunition, STS-Armory.com is where you visit to learn about the things that you need and how to get them. I am going to be taking my conceal and carry renewal class through STS-Armory.com. If you go to them in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, and you meet the folks at STS, you'll quickly understand why they are the experts that I go to, that I send my family to, my loved ones to, in my personal life, for anything that has to do with firearm ownership, whether it's the actual firearm, the ammunition, the security devices that you need in order to be responsible in your home. If it's, survivalist type of things, they have that stuff as well, but also the education that goes along with it. To become a conceal and carry licensed carrier in the state of Illinois, they can help you with that. To get renewed, they can help you with that. They have instructor level courses, but they also have beginner level courses. If you're just starting on this journey, or if you are an expert already, visit STS Armory and understand that they have you in mind with everything they do at their shop. STS-Armory.com.
Weather can be unpredictable nowadays, but your local news station on the free Odyssey app has got you covered. Whether you need an umbrella, windbreaker, or an extra layer, or two, we'll let you know. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station to listen on your smartphone, or ask your smart speaker to play it before you head out the door. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are ignoring kitchen table issues. Liberals are fighting to defund the police, indoctrinate kids, open the border, and put boys in girls' sports. I'm Ann Wagner. The people I talk to know better. Let's work for what matters most. Lower costs, parents' rights, and safer streets.
Ann Wagner is working for common sense solutions to the problems you face. She's challenged the big government machine in Washington and delivered a tax cut for middle-class families. Ann has stood with parents to defend their right to make decisions on the upbringing, education, and care of their children, protecting our kids from radical leftist indoctrination. And as crime rises, Ann has worked to protect our safety by fighting efforts to defund our brave police.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message. So pull up a chair, and together we'll turn the tables on Washington.
Fighting for your family. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The minds and voices that shape America are talking here.
This is Brian Kilmeade. This is Griff Jenkins from Fox News. This is Jimmy Fallon.
Stream it on the Odyssey app.
97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 on the Odyssey app on your phone.
It's getting you done. brakes, close the tires.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I'll soon be with you, my love. Give you my dawn surprise.
Okay, welcome back. We're going through your questions. You can interview us here at the wrap-up of the Annie Fry Show week. And we're moving through a little next question. And our next question that I'm going to ask is, what algorithm have you inadvertently stumbled into? So all of a sudden, you're scrolling through things on the internet, and it's like, wow, I have done something to imply that I am highly interested in this. The one that I have currently stumbled into, and I am here for all of it, is 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah?
I get 50 Cent stuff all the time, and I know so much about him right now. I don't know why, but I love it. It's so bizarre. Do you know that he doesn't drink?
No, I didn't know any of this.
He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't smoke weed. He doesn't do any of that
The
stuff.
fact that you're talking about it means I'm going to get it.
No,
on
you're
my...
all going to get it that are
Everybody's gonna
listening
get it.
right now. You didn't, like, he's a super, like, straight, clean guy,
No.
super wealthy because he's been very successful.
I think, didn't he just invest a bunch of money in, like, Birmingham, Alabama or something? It was all philanthropic work.
Like in a city. Like a city created to create.
Yeah, it was something pretty neat.
He's very wealthy, and he sells booze,
but he doesn't drink?
No, and he was one of the things that I saw, like, I've learned all this information and I haven't been able to share it. 50 Cent was being interviewed by someone, and they're showing him rapping in a video, and he's holding a glass of something, and he's talking about, like, it's probably not gin and juice, but something like that. And they're like, you don't drink, but you're holding a glass and selling it to people. And he goes, I didn't do crack when I sold cocaine or whatever. It's like, and she was like, well, that's a good point. Anyway, I'm in the 50 Cent algorithm, and I'm not, you can say, like, a lot of times, why am I seeing this or whatever? You can try to take yourself out of that algorithm. I'm not doing that. I want to know more.
Okay, there's 3. One is Mario Brothers cheat videos for some reason. And I'll watch them every time. Like, oh, look at this glitch they found in Mario 2.
Yeah.
The other 2 are Neil Tyson Degrassi videos.
Oh, man.
But I'm kind of interested because it's science-based stuff, but I don't know. He's a good speaker. And then the last one, I would. The last one is Nate. Is it pronounced Nate Bargatze?
Bargatze. And yes, I'm in there too, and I'm happy about
His stand-up is really funny.
So funny.
And here's the difference between him and almost all other comedians right now, especially sketch comedy people, is he does not break. He never smiles at his own jokes or anything.
Every once in a while, he'll kind of about it because he can, like, he's amused.
That's it.
But he's so good, and he's clean.
And I've noticed that too. And when he's in, he talks about his parents and being raised Christian too. He doesn't say that he is, but he does talk about being raised that way. And even in his sketches when he's on SNL and stuff, he stands out because he doesn't break.
Yeah.
And all the rest of them do.
If you don't know who Nate Bargatze is, find on YouTube, maybe I'll share this out. He's done 2 of them now, but the first one where he's George Washington and he's talking, I think we played this on the air.
It's a classic sketch now.
It's amazing. And he's talking about, like, this is what it's going to be like in America, but he's talking about, like, words.
It's basically the metric system.
Yes. And how we're going to do it differently.
We're going to fight for freedom so that we do not have to use the metric system. That's the whole premise.
The Nate Bargatze algorithm is a good one to fall into. Brad, you got any?
Yeah, the weird one for me is tractors, like farming, just basic farming.
You just got a tractor, though.
I did, and I looked up, like, a couple of, like, how do you replace the air filter? How do you do this?
Well, that's
and
why.
the next thing you know, I'm, like, learning how to plant corn at this time and
But are you watching?
Sometimes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
He's watching.
I can get a pretty
some of
good
them are like,
yield this
but the
fall.
other ones are, like, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. It scratches an itch.
Anything else?
No, that's the main one that I'm surprised by.
Ethan?
Is this specific to what we're surprised by, or just kind of?
I mean,
general?
like, well, just something that you're like. For instance, I haven't been researching 50 Cent.
Okay.
But there he is.
Right.
Over and over again.
So the biggest one for me, I would say that kind of just has come out of left field in the last 6 to 8 weeks, And I don't know I don't remember really Googling much about it. Obviously, it becomes way more intense during this time. Is fantasy football. I mean, my entire timeline, it feels like, is fantasy football right now. But I feel like, honestly, that could have just naturally started around the drafts. I don't know.
Yeah.
So fantasy football is a big one. And I'm also in the comedian area.
I love that stuff.
Mine are Matt Rife.
Oh, God, I dove out of that as fast as I could.
But also Shane Gillis. I love Shane Gillis's Trump impersonation.
Do you like Matt Rife?
Some of it's funny. Some of it's a little bit yeesh.
Matt Rife is the guy who walks up to you. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but walks up to you in a bar and you're immediately like, no. Like, he doesn't even... Like, I know that we're both here to impress you. I am not interested.
His interaction...
Every guy that walks up to me in a bar.
His interaction with the audience, I think, can be pretty funny. I haven't watched a lot of just his material, but like when he kind of goes off the cuff and starts talking with the audience, sometimes it can get pretty funny.
I think he's more mean sometimes than he is funny. But anyway.
Man, I used to get hit on in bars by dudes sometimes. And I had no clue what was happening. No clue.
You were in a gay bar.
That tracks.
No, well, maybe.
Next question.
Next question. Next question.
Is this where it's my turn now?
No, Ryan, didn't you say... Ryan,
we had this debate internally at the station. So Mark Cox has his voter guide out.
Yes.
I was writing the script for this, and he adjusts. It's just
Did you write the script for his voter guide? Is it really yours?
Yes, my voter guide.
Are you his ghostwriter for his voter guide?
Voter guide was done.
There's Missourians all over going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's mostly about Southern Illinois.
It just says, help me.
We were kind of going back and forth on the script. He went in and read it to promote the voter guide. And he said, I think this is grammatically wrong. And I said, but I don't know that it is. So I'm going to read the sentence to you. Tell me whether or not this is grammatically right or wrong. The direction of the nation and of the state are in your hands. Or the direction of the nation and of the state is in your hands.
The direction is in your hands. But that's a poorly worded sentence and should be rewritten. Next question?
That is correct.
It's the direction is. You remove the prepositional phrases and then you figure out the verb and then you rewrite the sentence.
It sounds unnatural.
Did you change it? You tell me you changed the sentence.
I think we adjusted it enough that it sounds more natural.
Say the sentence again.
The original was, the direction of the nation and of the state are in your hands. Now, I think we removed one of the ofs and made it sound better too. The direction of the nation and of the state is in your hands. It's actually the second one. But I don't remember exactly how we rewrote it.
The direction is easy. Anybody else?
That was. I asked my wife the same thing, and she's like, and she's like, Mark Cox is right.
Isn't she an English teacher?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But you're great.
Yeah, thank you.
Man.
Brad, are you done?
Yeah, I used all mine.
Ethan, let's go to the audience and find some questions. Next question,
all right,
Ethan.
So it hasn't been that long that we've had the new audio for next question, correct? Just a handful of weeks. Some of the people are wanting to know if this is Todd on the drums.
Remix.
It is Todd.
Ryan, you're the one who contracts our musicians.
Yeah, I talked to Todd. He said, "Do you want to do this?" I said, "Let's do this." And that was the conversation.
And that's it. That was brilliant. You're good at this.
Yeah, thank you.
Bologna sausage? Yeah, he's fantastic.
Honestly, it amazes me how you do it.
It frightens me, but go on.
Okay, next one. If you had to live inside one TV show for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Ooh, The Purge.
These days are ours. Happy Days? How would you not want to live in Happy Days?
Ooh, Happy Days? Yeah, that'd be fun.
The Purge.
What's your mindset on The Purge? Please, enlighten me.
The show?
No, I mean, like, why you'd want to live inside of it.
Oh.
Go on with this.
Tyrus is in it.
Oh.
And I just kind of, I think he's cool.
Gotcha. You feel like he would protect you or try to kill you?
Ooh, tough question.
No, it's not. Because he plays a bodyguard in the Purge series, and so he would be protecting me. Although I think he's protecting people who are in cages who are supposed to be killed. So I'm not really quite clear on that. I choose The Purge.
Do you think you would end up in a cage?
No, I'd be one of the rich people.
Okay.
Brad, what about you?
I was originally going to say Dragnet, but I think I'd rather like to be in Police Squad.
I don't know what that is.
It's
either
the
of
Leslie
those.
Nielsen.
Police Squad is Naked Gun, the TV show.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is that because I always like the cutscenes, like the show ends and everybody stops.
Yeah,
But
they're like
just,
they're laughing,
they just stop
but they're
moving.
actually just stop
Yeah,
moving.
and like whatever's going on in the background still moving around. Yeah, I think that would be fun. So that aesthetic, but with that comedy. Yeah.
Do you have an answer, Ethan?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of TV shows that I know.
I think that Outer Banks would be a pretty cool one just because of the setting. I mean, like,
That's what I was trying to think of, like something tropical and cool.
yeah, that would be a good one. I think Stranger Things would also be a little.
No, don't go into
interesting.
Stranger Things. You don't
The
know which
Upside
one.
Down?
Yeah.
you'd be the Upside Down.
Is Stranger Things start to finish worth the watch?
Well, it's not done yet, but yeah.
100%.
Because I think I watched the whole first season, and then at the time it definitely wasn't. Oh, I should watch it with my kids, with my older kids.
Yeah.
They could watch the older. My almost 15-year-old and my 12-year-old could watch it.
Like it gets more mature as it goes along.
Okay,
like
see, I don't know
Harry
that.
Potter.
It's gotten even darker. The last season was by far the darkest.
So let me ask you this. The biggest thing that I don't want them to watch is sexualized situations that they like. They don't need to hear an F word every other word. Does it get filthy with language?
Man, I don't really
It's been
remember.
a little bit since I've watched it.
VidAngel it.
What?
VidAngel it.
And then what about like
There's not a lot of like
nudity,
sexualization. There's not a
there's
lot
none of that.
No, there's not much.
So
of
it's just really scary. A little
There might
mind
be some
psychological
language.
that. There might, yeah, I think there is a little bit of language, but it becomes really dark in the sense of like supernatural-ish.
Yeah.
Like it's not like heaven and hell, but like they
But
definitely play
yeah.
into the upside down, like kind of like demon type beat. So
I think my son would like it. I don't know if my daughter would
It's
like.
very
my oldest daughter would.
entertaining.
Yeah, we loved it, but we had to stop watching it because we had all these kids. And by the time, I mean, Ryan, you can relate to this probably. Like by the time everybody is done with the day and you could actually watch, I mean, even like CSI on TV. I'm too tired.
Our kids got released during the Walking Dead.
Released.
Yeah. So it's the middle of that series. We just stopped. We couldn't watch it anymore.
We watched the Game of Thrones when Molly was born because we had to stay up to feed her. So we would put kids to bed at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, melatonin and everything, and be able to watch maybe 4 episodes of that, Outlander and all that stuff after they went to bed. But it just doesn't work. I don't know I don't know. Somebody said Home Improvement. I'd feel safe there.
We're back to that phase now. We're watching a show called From now. Did I mention this one? Where it's on MGM. It's brand new. They're in the 3rd season. It's a group of people who drive into a town and they try to drive out the other side of the town and they just come right back into the same side. And there's all these people stuck in this town. Can't leave it.
Oh yeah, here, G-Wibs has a good suggestion. I'd like to be in Gutfeld, on Gutfeld. There,
Okay.
I'll take that one.
Just live on it.
You want to do? Let's do one more question from the audience before we bolt here.
okay, last
Next
one.
question. Last question.
The one and only Balls.
Oh.
He's asking it. He's asking me specifically, but I want to get your guys' opinions. I'm going to exclude myself from this because I think the answer would obviously be me as the best athlete on the Annie Fry
That's
show.
gonna be times 4.
So out of you three, who do you guys think is the best athlete of you three?
Ryan, you first.
Probably me. And
what's your reasoning?
If you want to put that to the test, I will.
How?
How?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll do a decathlon.
Name 5 sports.
Thigh curl contest.
Pick 5 sports.
Okay. Golf. Hockey. Maybe soccer.
Can't even think of 5 sports.
I'm trying to think of the ones that I would be most confident in. I don't know that I would play you in basketball because I think you got a pretty good shot. Maybe both of you do. Curling. Foosball.
All right. I feel like the fact that you can't come up with 5 sports you think you could win at means you were eliminated. But
I mean, I could just say the 5 big sports, but I just don't. Basketball is the one I just don't know.
Brad, what do you think?
I think it's me.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I think I could beat you guys in baseball. Softball.
What is baseball? Is it just home run derby?
Yeah, home run derby. Let's go home run derby. I could beat you guys in that.
He does play softball.
Used to.
Yeah, that's a
Haven't
girl
played-
sport.
Haven't played in a year. I think that I could beat you in hockey.
Did you know he plays in a women's softball league?
Yeah,
That's why he thinks he's so good.
It's co-ed, but it's all women. He says it's co-ed.
It's co-ed because I'm there.
Because he's there.
So you said softball?
Softball, baseball, slash.
That's softball and baseball.
Yes,
Hey, that's
slash.
one. That's
so
one.
let's throw hockey in there. Soccer. I think I could beat you guys at running. And like distance, I could beat you guys in a 5K. And
You think you could beat Ethan in running?
This
No,
is
Ethan
excluding
doesn't-
me.
doesn't count.
This is excluding me.
Yeah, because your age sucks for us.
Correct.
boxing. Where am I at? Boxing and football.
He's got some smug to him. He's pretty like, this isn't confidence. This is cockiness.
Yes.
Oh, Annie?
I think I could compete with all of you.
That's not a confident answer in your ability to win.
I will agree.
No, I would put my confidence on the scoreboard.
Yeah, let's let it out, Annie. Let it out, Annie.
It's just a platitude.
Let it out,
nothing.
Annie.
Brian just vomited on the microphone. You've never,
That's the sickest
you've
I've ever
never
been in an answer.
rolled your eyes
Come
on this show harder than you just did.
It's like, oh man, you'd really nail the post-game interview. Well, we came out and we gave 110%. I can tell you that.
You want to
know.
play good? You hope to play good. I feel like we played pretty good.
Do I get to hit from the red tees?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna vote me. Why would I not?
Well, there's a surprise.
Unless
All
I can
three of
vote
you
for
voted
Ethan.
yourself.
Based on the sports that Brad picked, I'm going to vote Brad.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, I'm not going to beat Brad at boxing.
I would do volleyball, basketball, softball, track, and I'll do boxing.
Brad's not going for the win, though. He's going for the kill. Like, this is pretty aggressive.
You should pick all really physical sports and then be like, but you can't hit a girl.
No, you can try to hit me, but I will hit you back.
Oh, boy.
Try to hit her.
I've seen her box.
Ryan, I could beat you in boxing.
Well, I'm not saying that I'd be good at boxing.
Only because I've trained.
Would
If I,
either of you hold back against Annie?
Oh my gosh,
of course
yes.
they would.
Yes.
Because they're gentlemen. They're good
Guys.
people.
Yeah.
But I would take full advantage of it.
surprised to that answer from you,
I'll
Wiggins.
beat you in the other four. I'll give you boxing.
They just drop their gloves and walk out. All right, let's take a quick break. Ethan, thank you for asking those questions. And audience, thanks for submitting them on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be back after this. Ethan will have the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Which Trump second term would be more effective, 2020 or 2024? What do you think? We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com as we seep into a little bit cooler weather as the fall weather really starts to set in. Man, this morning was a traditional fall morning. Rain, a little chill, just the leaves look great and everything. It just felt so much like fall. You're probably thinking about making sure the furnace is in good working order right now. I have the people to help you do that. Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091. AirComfortService.com is the website. Reach out to them if you have any issues right now with your furnace to make sure that when the cold snap really gets here, you're not worried about being able to get your home into its comfort zone. But also, you can reach out to them if you just want to sign up for maintenance plans where you pay on a monthly basis and you get your 12th month free. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Talk to Air Comfort Service about your heating, air conditioning, and insulation needs. AirComfortService.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at ThrottleNet, and you've probably heard George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet on the show. He's a technology whiz, and George and his team can educate you and your business on the dangers lurking with technology. Here's a unique opportunity along those lines. Does your company have a lunch and learn or guest speakers? For a limited time, ThrottleNet is providing free lunch and learns to provide cybersecurity awareness training. One click can cause a ton of damage to your business. ThrottleNet is determined to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does, they're the cybersecurity experts who can help. ThrottleNet is known for high customer satisfaction, averaging 99% happiness with over 35,000 surveys. They have an industry-leading response time of less than 2 minutes. And no clients of ThrottleNet have ever paid ransom as a result of a cyber attack. Contact ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971 and we can schedule your free company lunch. Don't miss out. Find out more today about ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971.
Would be, oh man, the YouTube live chat poll of the day, which Trump second term would be more effective, 2020 or 2024? Just so you know, that long pause where you heard nothing, I was talking, no mic on.
I was going to say, you know how to make your microphone more effective?
I don't. Let's do that and ask me anything. Our next question, though, next week. Which Trump second term would be more effective, 2020 or 2024? We've all weighed in. We want to hear what you have to say. It's 2:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon. 2 weeks and counting till the election, and the left is still going apoplectic about Trump's visit to McDonald's. We're going to cover that and a whole lot more. It's all coming up here after Fox News at 3.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You guys have any big, fall Halloween-y plans for this weekend, the weekend before Halloween?
Not really. No, I can't even figure out where we're going to trick or treat. We always do our neighborhood, but we're talking about going to our church group's neighborhood on Halloween. I don't think we're doing anything that actually, no, now that you say that, thanks for the reminder, because we haven't been to a pumpkin patch yet this year.
Yeah, we're going to go.
Probably Relic-y. We usually go there.
I love Relic-ys.
But we've had such busy weekends that we're now right before Halloween. We haven't done it yet, so we'll probably be out there.
Do you do trunk or treats?
As often as we can.
Oh my gosh.
Bang for your buck.
It's the way.
Yeah.
Trunk or treat versus having to go out and do we'll do the trick or treat thing in our neighborhood. I still don't have costumes for my kids, and my son is 14. He'll be 15 in December. He will wear he'll probably go trick or treating with us when we go, and he'll probably hang out with his friends the rest of the time. And he'll go if I give him a hat or a sweatshirt or something to wear that matches something that Molly's wearing. He'll go help her trick or treat, which is cool. But he's not like, Mom, I need a costume. He's not trying to be Darth Vader or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't gotten anything for him yet. And I was looking at when we were at Johnny Brock's this past week, looking at costumes, which you guys, if you haven't subscribe to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, there's going to be some content coming out shortly. We went shopping for costumes to wear next week on Halloween. Thursday will be somewhat of a Halloween show. We don't have Halloween programming, but on Halloween we will do costumes. Definitely in the 2:00 hour. We might have a costume change that takes place.
I hope so.
Yeah.
If we pull that off, it's going to be something.
I need to get the thumbs up.
Okay.
From the man down the hall.
Man upstairs?
No, he's down the hall. I didn't ask the man upstairs. Maybe I should. But we have Brad and Ryan picked out a costume for me. Ryan and I picked out a costume for Brad. Brad and I picked out a costume for Ryan. We all picked out a costume for Ethan. Does he know that?
Huh? Oh, he probably doesn't.
Costumes.
For the first time, just so you know, you're in the show often enough that we had to have a costume for you.
Oh.
Are you a costume guy, Ethan? You like a good costume? I hate them, so it's okay to say that for sure.
I don't enjoy the time that it takes to put into finding or making a good one. If it's given to me and it's a good one, I will wear it and I will rock it. But the time before that is what I struggle with.
Well, you have come to the right place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't have to do anything.
congratulations.
Oh, great.
So I'm going to put out some of these videos probably this weekend on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and it's going to show some of the costumes that we selected, and we want to know which ones you think we should wear. And then you'll get to find out Thursday which ones ended up getting picked.
Do you guys know what you picked for each other?
No, we
Okay,
haven't. We
gotcha.
haven't. We
All right,
haven't
so-
officially picked yet.
So I'm not the only one here that's kind of like, wait.
Well, we
what
picked
what
finalists.
Yes, which is the video that I'll be putting out.
Yeah, we have
We narrowed them
a
down.
few for each person that we've picked for each other.
Got it.
But we're going to let people kind of help decide
Okay, understood.
what they think would look basically the stupidest.
And Johnny Brock's walking through Johnny Brock's dungeon as a non-costume person, like I don't peruse that world on my own for any purposeful intent. If you need it, Johnny Brock's has it. Wow. The store just keeps going and going and going. When we had to go put some things back that we eliminated, I was like, I know exactly where it goes. But then I would have to go through like aisles and aisles and aisles because they have so much for you. So if you're going shopping this weekend if you've got a Halloween party, costume parties coming up, or if you're looking for something for kids, I think I might take my kids back. I was thinking about it, maybe going to Johnny Brock's and seeing if there's something there that they want.
Well, they have stuff that you wouldn't think about.
Yeah.
I think my favorite, and they have them kind of arranged by aisle. I had never been into that store. I think I'd been to a Johnny Brock's, but maybe not that spot. But they have an aisle that's just eras.
Mm-hmm.
That starts with, they may go back to like medieval through the 80s, and all these different ideas that you wouldn't have even known you could have had.
Yeah, if you're not a costume person, you could go there and end up becoming one. You could go there and be like, wow, I didn't even know that was a possibility. And they have everything from like, your plastic mask all the way up to like this could be a costume that you would wear on the set of a movie.
Also, they have a ton of stuff for parties and decorations. So if you're looking for like the hat to complete the costume, if you're looking for party favors or just decorations, serving stuff, sunglasses, different types of glasses, like I'm just, every time I go in there, I'm like, these people are next level. Johnny Brock's.
The best joke in the video was when we were walking past
What, are you going to tell it?
the skeletons, the really scary skeletons, and I was like, the scariest part is that there's one of these inside of you.
Good joke.
Spoiler much?
Yeah.
Spoiler, yeah, it's going
Yeah.
to be great when it comes out, I promise.
If Ryan's not explaining the joke, is he even joking? Ethan, you want to give us the results of today's YouTube live chat poll?
Let's do it. 291 votes today on the live chat poll. Which Trump second term would be more effective? Everyone in here voted 2024, and
Yep.
guess what? You guys represent the people well. 86% say 2024, and 14% say 2020.
Almost 300 votes. That's awesome. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with us. Thank you again to everybody who has subscribed on the YouTube channel. That costume celebration at 2 o'clock on Thursday of next week is in response and gratitude of the 10,000 subscribers we've reached on YouTube. But we'd love to have more. So come to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, subscribe, and you'll see some of those videos. Be sure also to download that Odyssey app, AUDACY. Stream us anywhere and everywhere. The Mark Reardon Show, next.
Supporting your nutrition should be easy. That's why we created the Neovitin Women's Multivitamin monthly subscription. Get your daily Neovitin Women's Multivitamin delivered directly to your door every month. You can pause or cancel your subscription at any time with no long-term obligations. With B vitamins to support energy, vitamin D for bone support, and our physician-formulated proprietary blend, Neovitin Women's Multivitamin is here to support your nutrition every day. Start supporting your nutrition and sign up for a monthly Neovitin Women's Multivitamin subscription today at neovitin.com.
St. Louis City 2 is in the MLS Next Pro postseason. Join us Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park as City 2 battles it out in the Western Conference semifinals. Tickets only $13 with player meet and greets, free games, face painting, and more. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com. Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park. Don't miss out on the action and be there as we cheer our team to the finals. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton.